Hey, do we have internet? Do you have audio now? Caller, can you hear us now?
Yeah. I was about to say vile things, but now I won't.
Hey, go ahead.
Hi. How's it going?
Hello, friends, and welcome to the podcast.
Vile things.
I think maybe they can hear us now.
Can they? Oh, good. It's back. I like having sound for our podcast.
Mm-hmm. Our audio podcasting.
Eh.
Plus a little video on the side.
Eh.
I don't know why. Well, OBS was like, that input?
Nah.
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 Man.
Yep.
We watched a movie.
That's correct.
Sure did. It's right there on the live stream. Which one we watched?
Hey!
Oh, basically like right here.
Oopsie daisy. No.
Right there. There's your line.
Now don't put the hands down.
What? No, I'm holding up the poster here.
Yeah, the poster. High five in the poster.
It's Hands Across America.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Chuck, did you win? Did you win, Chuck?
Did you win a
I haven't done all that shit
transmogrifizer?
yet.
What? Why
I
not?
gotta go to a website and
Oh, did you enter all? You didn't enter all your codes yet for your Transformer?
No,
cups
I was
that we
watching a
all gave
movie.
you.
But no,
We
you're
gave
done.
you those because you could be an instant winner.
Yeah. Why aren't you instantly won?
Yeah. The fuck are you doing?
I think I ate too many hot dogs, man.
This is a serious question.
Mm-hmm.
Very serious, Chuck. The fuck you doing? Enter those codes. Win something.
We'll wait.
Will you?
Yeah.
Hey, Chucky. Hit them big ass codes.
Hmm?
Man.
You that dick.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Chuck. BMFcast alum wrote this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you make a list this week or not? No. Do I need to do that real quick?
Nah.
Oh, hey, you tweeted. I didn't retweet. I'm going to retweet now.
Oh, man. Retweet. Retweet. Yeah. So John McCain has brain cancer. That explains a few things. No, people were worried about his behavior, especially during one of those hearings where he was just like asking incoherent questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently having brain cancer will do that to you. I learned something.
They should check our president for brain cancer.
Or a brain. Am I right?
Oh, hey,
I'm a pundit.
don't get political here.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
Yeah, I don't like when podcasts get political.
Well,
Get fucked.
Political is code for saying things I don't agree with.
Right.
Pre-existing condition. That's all I got to say.
I forgot how to breathe out.
That is also a pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
life is a pre-existing condition. Am I right?
Pretty much.
Kind of is.
None of us acts to be here.
I sure did.
We really didn't.
No.
No.
I didn't get a fucking choice in the matter. I
Yeah.
said no.
I say thee nay. My birth shall not pass. But
Ne'er shall I pass through that canal.
and then one day you woke up sucking on a titty. You're like, well, here I am. Who knew?
Spend the rest of my life trying to do this again.
Yeah.
Woke up quick, sucked on a titty.
Man, water. I tell you what,
Is it good?
they did a good job with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
sure
the-
did.
I like the way the hydrogens mix with that
I mean,
oxygen.
I really like how the Nestle Corp created it and has cultivated this whole thing that people just now we drink it.
Why do you drink water?
I don't know because it's better than flushing it down the toilet.
No,
Making that toilet wine.
water is what you put your piss in.
Water's what you put your piss in.
Oh, water's what you put your piss in.
That's why this cup
what you
smells funny.
put your piss in.
It's so true.
Oh, They Might Be Giants Blue album.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
Charles Band joint.
it's from an original idea.
Totes original.
It's very original.
Man, 9 fucking people up in here.
Well, I guess we could get
Whoa.
started then.
9.
Well,
All right, fine, we won't.
9.
well,
Well.
I guess we can get started then.
Eh.
Let's do it. Let's fall in love. For the first
not
time.
again.
I am ready to podcast.
Okay.
I have the stream paused when Chuck is giving a blurry middle finger to the camera.
Blurry middle
good.
finger to the camera.
Blurry middle finger to the camera that day.
Put a blurry middle finger in your soul.
In your hole.
I wonder if that's their
is.
process. They just follow around people and just start repeating the dumb shit they say. And then, that's it. That's one. Write that down.
The sun is a massive. Okay, wait. I think I got this. The sun is hot. I think we could have a song about that.
All right, let's do this.
Boy.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey!
BMFcast.
Episode 385.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
Look at us.
Yeah. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie, and we talk about it for the first half. Then at the very end, we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks as robot jocks.
Hey!
Good job, Robot Jogs.
That's related to this movie, kinda.
I like that movie.
However, there are bad movies. Doesn't stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags after douchebags.
Yeah.
Bags of douche.
Yeah.
That is what,
Bad job,
that is what that
douchebags.
is.
We should probably workshop a better way to
should-
say that from now on.
All right.
You should just quit being douchebags.
Should we? I mean, are we afraid of
No.
saying douchebag?
No,
or
it's just we've got that pattern of
Right,
after
like,
Twilight, but
right.
then you stop yourself right before Twilight. It's like, after
Yeah, I don't know.
douche.
Bag, I don't know. Things that suck.
Yeah.
So we did a little movie called Demonic Toys
It is a little movie.
from 1992.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Full Moon Pictures joint,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go and spoil it. We probably watched it in preparation to get to Dolman versus Demonic Toys, mostly.
At some point.
Yeah, just
There's a
set-
whole-
we're laying the groundwork to get to there.
Oh, of course.
yeah, for the
Yeah.
Dolman versus Demonic Toys cinematic universe,
Putting in our time.
Yes.
or the Charles Bandiverse, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get a very quick plot summary for this movie out of the way, and talk more about it. A pregnant policewoman, her quarry, and an innocent delivery boy become trapped in a haunted toy warehouse.
Her quarry.
The guy she was chasing, that's what that means.
Quarry.
Oh. Okay.
Like a rock quarry.
Yeah.
But
No.
like game quarry.
Okay.
Like
She's-
Ralph
oh.
McQuarrie.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like a question.
No,
that's a query.
That's a query.
Oh.
Yeah,
like when you
never
have a
mind.
consensus among a group.
No, that's a quorum.
oh, like the Microsoft assistant. Oh, that's a Cortana. Sorry. Right. Anywho, this movie opens and what?
Well, it's from the director of Eliminators and Arena.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Charles Band alum, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Manoogian. I'm going to say it's
Manoogian.
Manoogian.
Manoogers.
Written by the writer of Death Warrant,
Uh-huh.
David S. Goyer.
That's
His
what
most
he's known
famous
for. Yeah.
movie, Death
Yeah,
Warrant.
It is. Yeah.
He did go on to do some bigger films.
Really?
Yeah.
Some Batmans,
Yeah.
some Supermans.
Sometimes when Batmans and Supermans were both in the same movie. Some Blades.
Some Blades? Yeah. you know.
A very inconsistent man.
Yes. Sometimes he has a good idea, sometimes not.
Yeah.
And sometimes he writes Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV movie that we watched.
Oh, forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the main person is Tracy Scoggins from Watchers 2.
Watchers 2.
Watchers
2. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, I've forgotten all about Watchers 2. I remember literally nothing.
It had Mark Singer in it.
It did. Okay, you're right. It did.
And I think there was a werewolf thing.
There was a dog and a drippy thing that was chasing the dog.
Maybe.
That's all those Watchers movies.
Yeah. I know I missed one of them. I couldn't tell you which one it was.
3.
3?
Yeah, because all 3 of us fell asleep during Watchers 3.
Oh.
That's the one with the smart dog, right?
So at some point I would have said, "Hey, is anybody else awake?"
Yeah, and we would have not said anything because we were sleeping.
You were tuckered out.
Yeah, we were all.
So-
we were tall, little guy.
So this movie opens, and there's undercover cops having a conversation in a car.
They're also undercover lovers.
Yes, the lady's dropping serious hints about the fact that she's pregnant, and the guy's just like, yeah, you know, it's cool. It's
Well,
like shacking up, living
Kids,
together.
whatever.
We've seen a little weird dream sequence right before we get to these people.
Yes.
Of a room filled with clocks and rocking chairs.
Yes, they're rocking chairs around the clock.
And Tracy Scoggins is sitting there all made up as 2 kids are playing war, like the card game. And then it meshes into
Right.
her.
Yeah, she wakes up, she's like, so that's the dream, and I always just wake up right then. He's like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
And one of the kids has very green eyes.
Yes.
Super green.
Super green.
Super green.
What kind of green for this?
Super green.
Oh.
Super green.
Super green.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and like they're just having this conversation. She's like, "You idiot! I'm basically trying to tell you I'm pregnant." He's like,
Yeah.
"Well, that's awesome."
Oh, that's okay.
Because he was like, "I don't know if we should get married until we have kids," and she's like, "Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't get married until we have kids."
So do you want to get married?
yeah. And he's like, well, this is fantastic. Let's do a thing right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's time to do an arms deal.
Right.
Yeah, looks like a drug deal, but they pull out some guns out of the car and like,
Yes.
"Oh, arms deal, okay." But as somebody pointed out, in movies, any kind of deal, like meeting deal, arms deal, drug deal, out of a car, there is instant hostility.
Yeah, it
Every
has to be
deal is
incredibly
just
antagonistic.
Yeah, it's always just you motherfucker. Let's go.
You're late.
Deal. You know, it's always it's
Why don't we
always
just
something.
see the stuff.
No one can just friendly like, you know, I get that you're criminals, but why can't you be friendly?
I think I have a theory on this.
Okay.
Is we're always seeing cops. Like it's always the cop coming into the deal.
Yeah.
And it's always like the first time that they've dealt with this person.
Okay.
So
So they're just
so the criminals have to kind of establish.
But I mean,
the
like in
ground.
this movie and other movies, if there is a lady involved, the people that have never laid eyes on her are going to hit on her despite
well, yeah.
whatever position she may hold in the deal.
That's any lady anywhere at any time.
But I mean, there's a time and a place, and like this back alley
Yeah,
drug
the
or
internet.
arms deal is
Sure.
not the place.
No.
I mean,
But
because it's going to cause hostility, especially when he introduces Lady Cop as my like benefactor or
Yeah.
money lady or whatever.
Money
and there's
lady.
like, hey, hot stuff, and he's like, dude, knock it off.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, they finally produce the weapons, and it's like, hey, we're cops, you're under arrest.
Yeah, because they're like, so how much for these guns? And they're like, 40 grand. He's like, well, that sounds fantastic, and we're cops.
And like, I mean, a little bit of a scuffle ensues, but I mean, like, this dude is shot right away, which you could see coming from a mile away.
Okay, well, the guy standing behind him who is holding a shotgun that doesn't have any bullets in it.
Oh, right.
Well, he says there's
Casual-
no clip in it.
Yeah.
Because it was a machine gun.
Yes. But he casually just flings it at the cop like a baton, just like, eh. To which it bounces off of that guy to where he turns around, and then another guy shoots him.
Yeah, he spins
dead.
towards that guy and just shoots him in the
Yeah.
gut. And the other guy shoots the cop in the chest
Center mass.
while she ducks behind the car but has not drawn her gun yet.
No.
Nope. Like, they probably shouldn't have a kid because they can't even work out the most basic of signals of like, this is when I'm going to pull my gun and arrest them.
Yeah.
Please be ready.
Yep.
Just, you know, a little bit of planning. Like
Nope.
that kid's getting left
Nope.
in the car with the windows
Well,
up.
if they'd
that's all
done
I'm
any
saying.
planning, she wouldn't be pregnant in the first place.
True. Good point. All right.
Yeah, they weren't counting the dates on the calendar right.
Yeah. It's not the only way you can plan.
Oh. Huh.
Anywho, he's dead. She's like, oh no, I guess I should, you know, that sucks. I should probably go catch the criminals. Because she has a brief moment where it's like, you gonna chase them? Because one of them tagged one of them in the side. So like one dude's limping, he's kind of like sort of gut shot. So they're probably gonna catch up with him. The other one is just like, fuck you, guy, I'm out of here, and just runs off into this toy warehouse, which is lit up, and I don't know. It's just
There's a sign with some neon on it.
right. There's more lights for a mostly abandoned warehouse than there is for the other place we're about to go, which is because this begins a stalking through the dark sequence where she is chasing the criminals and they're running, and then they kind of catch up and exchange like a shot or two, and then keep running, and it just goes and goes and goes. Dude that's been shot eventually, like, I think we cut away before, but he eventually stumbles onto this like glowy area that is formed on the floor.
Well, this demonic spotlight has shown up, and he's like mesmerized by it, and he stumbles over to it, and then kind of stumbles into it. Now, we've only been talking for about 2 minutes. This is about 20 minutes into the movie, because they are stumbling around this warehouse for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is stalking the dude that she is chasing around, and this guy who will not die is stumbling around, just hiding and jumping out, and then so it takes a good 20 minutes before he's finally dying in this weird dumb spotlight.
Yeah, but
Do we get some cuts interspersed of the security guard?
They might have introduced the security guard by now.
Did they do the security guard yet? Because I know they cut away
Yeah.
to the chicken place.
Well, he calls the chicken.
Yeah.
place.
Right. Yeah, you see him briefly, and it sounds like he's, as you said, it sounds like he's listening to Circus Calliope music.
Yeah,
Which
It's polka music. It's good
pol-
old
it's
beer and
polka.
pretzel polka.
it is, but it's basically constant clown music, and he's watching Puppet Master on television, reading pornography, and listening to fucking clown music.
Yep.
And this is
Man,
his night.
He's living his best life.
Yeah, he's loving it.
and he calls to, I don't know, Cluck and Bell place, wherever the fuck it is, and
I think it
shitty-
was
Lucky
just
Bell,
called,
what
it was
the
called
fuck
like
do you want?
Chicky's Chicken.
yeah,
I believe.
Chunky's chicken.
Chunky's chicken.
Chunky,
Chunky,
Yes,
yeah.
Chunky's chicken,
But
because
he calls there and he
Get it
reaches
Chunky style.
He reaches Mark, who becomes more of a main character in it.
Oh, hi,
Who's just
Mark.
like, all right, cool, I'll be there same time as every night. And we have a brief interlude where his boss comes out, or like coworker comes out, and boss are both just like, hey, what are you doing? You're slacking and all this stuff. And to be fair, he is like cooking food in the back, smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
To which the boss walks in and is like, hey, is that a cigarette in your mouth? And he's like, nah, it's your dick. And then just turns around. And it's kind of like,
Wait, what?
And the boss is like, was that a crack on me?
Yeah.
Or you? Or what?
I'm rubber, you're glue?
Yeah.
I don't...
no matter
I
what you
seem to be
mean,
the
my
winner
dick's
in this
inside you.
scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, but this
But-
dude is just eventually like, I'm taking this delivery and fuck y'all, fuck this job, but yet I still don't kind of quit. I may quit. I may drive your chicken truck into the lake. I don't know.
I may do a number of things.
Yeah. But I'm out of here. Yeah. And he goes out and it's a fucking chicken truck. Like, it's a shitty, it's a chicken station wagon.
Yeah, it's a station wagon with a demonic, I don't know, it's just paper mache chicken on it,
With glowy red eyes.
red glowing eyes, and they've built like this weird cotton nest around it. It's, whatever.
Hey,
I guess if you're gonna really,
If you're ordering from a place that delivers fried chicken at midnight,
yeah.
expect this car to show up.
Not
Best.
to mention, there's no
At
power
best.
at this place. Like it is.
That's what I was about to say.
Like,
Like,
there are like 2 light bulbs
Yeah.
in this entire.
the closed down, mostly abandoned warehouse where one security guard can take care of an entire warehouse is more well lit. And that's not to say it's well lit. It's more lit up and looks more open than this chicken shack that is open.
Yeah.
But he leaves, maybe kind of quits, but puts a cool leather jacket over top of his shitty, 80s style fast food restaurant uniform and drives off to go deliver food. Now, we've watched, I don't remember what order it is, but we've watched Gunshot Guy die on this thing and summon the light even harder, and then the toys start
You
to
on that light hard.
like just animate. Like we get
Well, yeah, because he's bled on it enough.
yeah.
But
And you've got like a kind of evil looking teddy bear, you've got a Jack in the Box, you've got a little baby doll like whatever, what was it? What was
Oopsie Daisy, I believe.
Yeah, but like
is
what
I
was
can
what
say.
was the Betsy Wetsy, like that
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like-
shit. It was like that
that.
kind of thing, where because she's like, I can do this and I can do this, and
The best one though is this little like robot attached to a tank,
TV robot.
which is a miniature slightly changed model of the thing from Eliminators.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
a prop from that, a little miniature that they made that it just rigged up to be remote controlled.
Yeah.
I
But
thought that
it's-
was a nice.
But it's got a box and it says TV robot.
yeah.
That's a different robot.
That's
Oh, no?
that's the standard like black robot with the
There was a robot in the background that had a little TV screen looking thing.
Oh, see, this whole time I was cheering for
I
TV
know.
robot. And
No,
it wasn't
that-
TV robot.
I know.
That was
I
the
didn't. I
Eliminators
didn't want to
robot.
crush you during the movie. I wanted
Sure.
to crush you live on the
Yeah,
podcast.
that's, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
The robot himself would have told you, "My father is TV robot."
Yeah, I'm TV's son of TV's robot.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's dead. Some toys have started coming. Well, the toys have come to life and murdered his face.
Yeah,
Because-
because he wakes up and he sees a Jack in the Box
Yeah.
sitting there, and it's just playing his tune.
Pop goes the weasel,
And
because
it-
that's the only thing Jack in the Boxes ever play.
Eventually, it pops out, and it's a demonic clown Jack in the Box face with a
pretty
little
good.
rattle that it keeps shaking, and he just like stands there staring at it.
Yep.
Mere inches from it, which, as you can expect in a horror movie, does not end well for him.
Not particularly.
No, but yeah, he's finally dead thanks to the things murdering his face.
Yeah. Well, that was its death rattle.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Tracy Scoggins has chased the dude into a security, like a storeroom, like a small room off to the side, with a bulletproof door for some reason. That moments after they are in there, something comes and locks the door.
Well,
Yes.
okay. I assume this is going to. Well, I don't assume because this is Charles Band, and sometimes the sequels have basically nothing to do with the first one. But were I a betting man and this was going to be a horror anthology, I think we would come to find out, because it's a little later in the movie, but there is a cutaway flashback thing back to like the 1920s with the last time this demon tried to raise itself, and there's an old guy and an old lady that are like all in favor of this. They're like trying to help along this demon birth thing.
Yep.
I think we would find out that it's either him and or his son or somebody connected with them that opened this toy shop, and that they knew this place was special in some way, that the toys were just a front. Because they keep flashing somebody's name on there, and they never establish what the hell the doctor's name is, I don't think.
I don't know. The movie doesn't care.
No, the movie doesn't care. I'm saying, like, this seems like one of those, like, dangling little threads where you get
Maybe.
the next movie where it's like, let's explore the backstory, because that's what people want in horror movies.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Those
Like
are
I
always
said.
the best. The offshoots that have nothing to do with the movie you really liked.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anywho, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
There's
They
that
get
scene.
locked in.
We can skip that scene later. Like I said, that's basically what happens. Like, it's not particularly important. There is one other part we'll cover when we get to the... Fuck it, we'll talk about it now, because it's a little bit out of order, but I already brought it up.
Okay.
All right.
The end of this is like, the demons that are trying to resurrect themselves, they tried to have a demon baby. It didn't work. They wasn't strong enough or whatever. But the weirdest thing about this entire scene is that the old lady's like, well, maybe next time it'll be stronger and it'll survive.
And it is like a demon baby.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's a little got horns coming out of its head, and it's way bigger than a normal baby.
Yeah. Like, ma'am, sorry.
Yeah. But it's dead, and they're like, oh, well, that stinks. Maybe next time. And even like the pregnant lady who just had the demon baby's like, oh.
Yeah.
Apparently
then-
they were all on board with this. And
Yeah.
so
Well, they
he-
did have a little, like the little, what do you call it, pentagram.
it was like a dream catcher.
Yeah, a dream catcher hanging from the window.
Yeah.
But they swallowed it up despite its death, and then apparently it was Halloween because some kids knock on the door and trick or treat, and she's like, "How would you like some candy? Ooh, would you like something better than candy? Hold on, be right back." And she gives this whole spiel about it's like a seed. If you plant it,
Yeah.
it'll grow and become stronger, and you can raise it. And they drop this swaddled up dead demon baby into their
Sack.
trick or treat sack.
Yeah. And they are stoked.
and they're like,
better than
"Cool,
candy."
great. And they leave, and they're
Yeah,
like,
these kids are way too excited about
Yeah.
her being like, I'm going to give you something that's not candy.
Yeah. And they're like, sweet tasks.
yeah, and they go and
heavy
sit down
thing.
and open up the sack and unwrap demon baby, and thankfully.
This was 66 years ago, so it was like
They didn't know. They had no
This
idea.
was 1925. They're lucky to
25?
had candy at all. Or I
Yeah.
guess it was in it.
Like,
Yeah, no, they got 4 years.
They got
before
4
that.
years
Oh,
before
yeah.
they couldn't have candy.
Trick or treating didn't even exist.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
it's a demon seed, kids. No.
But they unswaddled this dead demon baby, and thankfully appropriately reactive. And just toss it down a cliff.
In 2 seconds, that's the reaction to it. It's just like, what's this? Oh, God. Over the head, and then they just bail.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
this thing just lands in
It
like
gets
a
a worse
puddle.
reaction than like raisins or pennies.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
God.
Well, as it should. I mean, raisins
Okay,
and pennies
maybe
are bad, but
maybe raisins they'd react worse.
Yeah.
Raisins are delicious.
especially in the
Yeah, but not
20s.
for trick or treat. You eat raisins because you can eat them any time of the year.
All they had was raisins and taffy. They hadn't invented anything else.
This
yet.
is just some grapes you didn't throw out. Fuck you.
An apple full of razors.
This is glue with some food coloring on it.
Anywho,
Here, have a ball of wax.
to be fair, that
It's
happens
unflavored and
much
uncolored.
later in the movie, but I started it, so we might as well finish it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So
Anyway.
they're in this storeroom.
Yes.
And so the main guy, the main bad guy, Lincoln, is they tussle for a while and her clothes get ripped, and then she's got him. She's got him under gunpoint. It's over.
Yeah, she's handcuffed him behind his back.
Yeah.
And the door just
And
locks, and she's like, "Oh shit, we're locked."
she's like, we're locked in. And this guy is just like, he just wants suicide by cop. Just
basically because he's like, "I fucking killed your partner, didn't I?"
yeah. She's like, you shut up. Yeah.
I'll be out on bail by morning.
Yeah. And everything that she says, it's like she tries the phone and the phone doesn't work. And she's like, what about my phone call? I have rights and I murdered your part. Ha ha, I'll be out, And she's just, so she in this movie is constantly sweaty, constantly
Very
exasperated, and constantly making these weird moaning sounds, like all the time. Like just constantly just like, like everything that happens just gets this guttural sound out of her for some reason. Yeah, so
It's her da.
yes, it is. It kind of is. We should have started counting them. But yeah, so they're trapped in there for a while, and then Chicken Guy shows up
Yeah.
to deliver chicken.
Mark shows up in the chicken wagon and
Yeah, he pulls it in.
Well, like I guess he's got a system. Like he honks or did he push a
He
button?
buzzes, yeah, and the guy's like, hold your pants on, get in here, give me my chicken.
Charnetsky.
Yeah.
That's the security guard.
Security guard's also drinking like olive oil or some.
I like whoever said it that he was pre-lubing his pipes to just
slide the chicken
slide the
right
chicken
down
right
his
down his
throat.
Because I mean, I assume he's got whiskey, but I mean, it looks the color and the consistency of olive oil.
Yeah, it's like castor oil. It's just like, oh, dude, what are you drinking? But
I'm pre-lubing the pipe.
yeah, so
Maybe it's schnapps.
yes, delicious olive schnapps.
Yes, but yes,
Mark comes into the office and it's
and
he's
they
like,
they just hang out.
look
like,
at my porn, listen to my polka.
Well, he's like, you want a beer? He's like, what do you think, dude? He's like, yeah, I knew you did. Tosses him a beer. Apparently, they do this every night. Like guys, like fuck off work. I'm gonna go hang out with Chernowski.
And they have a discussion about chicken. He's like, don't you think it's weird? Everything tastes like chicken, frogs, legs, rabbit, goat, and everything. And then the security guard's like, yeah, well, you know what doesn't taste like chicken? This shit.
It's a much longer and better lead up.
Yeah,
because like he does
yes.
this whole thing about, you ever hear about the iguana guy? Yeah, he moved to Costa Rica and started raising them because they were smaller than chickens and taste just like them. And he's like, yeah, how come everything? And then he gets to that eventually. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
he also shows him the Playboy, and he's like, "Hey, check her out.
Yeah.
This July brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it?"
To which Mark just immediately starts smelling the magazine. And it's just like, what?
You do not. That is the last magazine you want to smell.
Yeah. I mean, fuck,
Is old
guy.
Chernowski's fucking spank rag. Jesus Christ.
old Chernowski spank rag.
There's the episode title.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably got like chicken grease on it.
No
Oh,
doubt.
a little bit of bug spray because all right.
And chicken grease is the least objectionable thing that's probably on that.
Because like, all
magazine.
right, there's a roach problem in his room too, which
Oh,
probably from
yeah.
all the nasty ass chicken. But like, he grabs this big like Raid can, sprays them, and then proceeds to step on them all. It's like, the fuck are you gonna spray them if you're just gonna stomp them all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back in the early 90s, the Raid spray wasn't that good.
He's also
right?
spraying them from like 30 feet away. He's just like up at eye level, just spraying. Like it's all dispersing before it ever gets anywhere
There's only
close.
one reason for that to exist. And it
Oh,
shows
yes,
up later.
because it's a setup for later.
Chekhov's raid.
Yeah.
LFG.
Stop giving me so many episode titles.
Sorry.
LFG demonic toy run.
But yeah, so, and the thing is, he's had like his TV and his polka music up so high that he can't hear anything that's going on anywhere else. And I will note that Dollman is on the TV a bunch of times.
Is Puppet
Or,
Master.
or Puppet Master,
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
Which
but
at
yes.
some point there will be a Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys movie. We are not watching it because it's garbage.
Oh,
Aw. But Chuck,
What?
How will we know the whole story if we don't watch that one?
Believe it or not, it is unrelated to both those franchises,
what?
and it stars Corey Feldman,
Man.
Now you're speaking my fucking language.
and was made for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
But what year?
Late 90s?
That'd be okay.
Maybe even later, like 2003, 2001. Anyway, no, we're not
All
doing
right,
it.
fine.
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 Fine,
Fine.
fine.
Yes. So she
Yes.
what's her face? Jude or Judith basically saw the chicken wagon arriving and proceeded to like you would do in a movie, like you're going to shoot out the window, like use her gun and bust out the tiny little window panes.
It's a very weak attempt at a Die Hard.
Kind of, because she's like, hey, hey, and it's like, this place is shitty enough, and you've fired enough bullets. Shoot one, just shoot one, just not at him, just out the window where he can hear it. But he's got the Joker cranking on the radio, which
he's listening to Joker.
special music arrangements by Joker,
Joker.
which I assume is what he's cranking in that car.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he doesn't hear it, pulls in, closes the door behind him, and is now in the office. So now she's like, fuck it. I'm just going to start shooting at the wall.
Well, he kind of goads her into it. He's like, well, if that didn't work, they'll hear your damn gun, won't they?
Oh, there's also a phone in the room that's busted because, demonic toys and stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, she starts firing at the wall, and thankfully Mark's even there because he's like, did you hear that? Because the other guy wouldn't have heard shit.
Yeah.
And so they turn off all of the things making noise, and she stops shooting, but they're like, well, maybe I should go check it out. And they both, he's like, well, I'm not waiting here by myself. And we get a little bit of exposition that there is a shotgun in the locker. And they take off through the warehouse to go investigate it. And this is where you think things are going to start to begin, but not really, because they make it to the door because she's now banging on it. And they're like, who are you, cop? Okay. She's like, I can't leave. You need to go call for backup because I've got to watch him. And he's got a tiny little gun. She's like, you go call for backup. We'll all wait here and shut the door behind us.
Yeah.
So
She's like, you know how to use that thing? And he's like, I was in Korea. So, no.
Yeah. I was like a month ago. It was a terrific vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever had kimchi? Really good.
Yeah.
Kind of got some bite.
So he takes off back, taking his time getting back. Like, the only reason they're scared, because they don't know about demonic toys or anything right now.
Nope.
The only reason he's scared is because you said there was another suspect that's very badly wounded.
Yes.
So he is walking as slow as humanly possible because it seems like, once again, he's been walking through this warehouse for a while.
He's only 10 feet away.
He's only, 10, 20 feet away, to the point that, like, when the demonic toys come out and start attacking him, which begins with a teddy bear and a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Or Yogi Berra, I guess. and so cracks him in the leg, falls over, and
damn it!
And I love that Mark's watching. He goes, he fell down. He's like giving a
he's
play-by-play
narrating
of
everything, and he's 10 feet away. He's like, he tripped.
and he's like, oh, he's probably
Oh,
just
he's
drunk.
getting up now.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, he's fine. He's getting up. But then what happens next is the robot comes out.
Daisy baby comes out and is like,
Will you be my new special friend? Stab.
well, yeah. Well, no, she goes, she swears all the time, for one.
Yeah.
But she's like, hey,
Fuck
you want to
stick.
play a fucking game? And he's like, what? And she picks up his gun that
Oh,
he
right,
dropped
because he tripped and he was...
shoots him in the knee.
Yeah.
To which he falls, and then that's when Mark has to narrate, somebody shot him in the knee.
He fell down again.
Yeah.
And apparently he's the only one really watching this, though he comments that, like, well, you saw this, because he's just, like, narrating everything, like, bear's chewing his face off, and, oh, God, the evil bear just stabbed him in the dick, which, that happens.
Yeah, the evil baby stabs him in the
Oh,
dick.
the baby stabs him, yes.
Yeah, the bear just eats his face.
Right.
The bear
Bear-
eats his face, and the jack in the box, like, wraps around his neck. Yeah.
But yeah.
And for some reason, like, even though he's been shot in the knee, like, his arms cease to function because
Yes.
he's not fighting these things off. He's just
No.
getting his face eaten.
Well, the thing is that no one fights these things off because one of their arms is being used as a puppet hand.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
Yeah.
But
But nobody ever fights back against these things. They just
No.
they just accept their fate as soon as they're getting bitten on the face.
Yeah. But dude's dead and getting dragged off, and Mark's just like, we might as well say it. Mark flips the fuck out
Yeah.
and is probably
Yeah.
getting an ancillary award towards the end of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is not having
Because,
this.
well, he's just watched old Chernowski get his face eaten and his dick stabbed, and toys were doing it.
Yeah.
But like I said, he's like, you saw it, but everyone's like, oh, that didn't happen. Like, they're like, no, we
Yeah,
just through the window. We just saw the dude get killed.
Yeah. But he's just like, man, game over. I cannot.
Oh yeah, he Hudson's out.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Big time.
He is flipping the fuck out.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the toys are dragging the dead body away to the evil pentagram light. And in the middle of his flipping out, the air duct opens, and out comes a girl.
Yeah,
Like-
a teenage girl crawls out.
And she's like just dirty enough that it's like it's kind of creepy as fuck. Because am I the only one that's ever seen that supposed real footage that's probably not real at all of like the girl that was living in the crawl space?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's creepy as fuck, and I don't know if it's real. I
It's
don't
like
care.
living up in the very top
and like the
cabinet.
guy was like, I don't know what's happening. Why is my food disappearing? And put out a camera and caught this. Like that's what this reminds me of, because she's just like, hi, I was living in the air ducts,
Yeah.
and they're like the fuck. Like
Yeah, she
first
gives a
off, no one
brief
reacts.
backstory,
Like,
like her family, her father beat her, and she it was better to live in the air ducts.
She just starts monologuing. She
Yeah.
is just like, "Hi, I'm Ann. I've been living in the air ducts. My dad uses me as batting practice.
Yeah.
That was a couple days ago.
The
I
toys are
left."
alive.
Yeah, and then she's just spouting all of this.
Like
and
somehow she knows everything about the toys, even though it's kind of been established that this is the first time that they've come to life.
yeah, she knows everything, but there's no reason for her to know.
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
But
She's not even technically an orphan, so she doesn't even have that special power.
no,
They
she,
hint
she
at this-
demonstrates this not power.
They hint at like she's hippie occultist, maybe, but nah.
Yeah.
It's because she has braids and beads.
Sure. But yeah, she's just like, the toys have come to life. We gotta get out of here. What's your plan? You're a cop. What's your plan? I was watching you. I think I'm gonna follow you now. And there's like,
And Mark is just like, I cannot handle this. We
Go-
got to just get
leave
the fuck
now.
out. We got to
Yeah.
go. And like she,
She's like, I can't leave
the
Lincoln.
cop actually slaps him
Yeah.
just to calm. She's like, get
Knock
a
it
hold
off.
of yourself,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. But yeah, she's just like, look, I can't leave this guy. He's my prey.
yeah. And they're like, well, what about other exits? You've been here every night. And they're like, all chained up except for the main exit. And there's only a button in the main security office that opens it. And they're like, she's like, great, you got to get there. And they're like, what do you mean you? Like, where are you going to be? She's like, I got to stay here and watch it. Like, she is very much about like, I have to watch this guy.
Yep.
It's
Not-
my job.
Not fuck
Got to
all
bring him
like,
in. Even though she's now handcuffed him to a big rack,
Yes.
so it's not like he's going to drag that thing away. But no, she has to watch
She
him.
has to stay there. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to crawl off to go to the exit.
Now, there is an air vent on the wall that is like your standard air vent in
Yes.
any house or any other place.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to climb in this. And as soon as they do,
Yeah.
like-
boy.
like, okay, remember in Top Secret when the guy's like, I've been digging a tunnel?
Yeah. Yes.
It's just like, it's this little hole in the floor, and all of a sudden it's like, I think it's like the Lincoln Tunnel they cut to.
Yes.
That's basically what this air vent feels like, because like, what the fuck?
It is suddenly a two-person comfort zone.
Like they're almost like there was one point where I think they almost crawl alongside of each other. And they're like, don't do that. Like,
Yep.
There was a point where they were a little bit later. They were basically side by side.
Yeah. Brand new, squeaky clean air duct.
Yeah.
Comfortably fits
Why
two people.
does it Champs-Élysées?
Brightly lit. Like, I don't know where this light's coming from because
Yeah,
none of it's in
everywhere.
a warehouse.
It's better lit
Everywhere.
than the chicken place.
Yes, exactly.
The chicken restaurant is more poorly lit.
They
than
should have
this.
opened a restaurant in these air vents.
But it would have been
vents were
cleaner.
cleaner,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're crawling through the air vents, and they get to a point where you just start hearing bicycle horns. And just
And
ooga.
This is never explained except for by her, and I feel like everything that came out of her mouth was bullshit except for maybe her backstory. Because, like,
Yeah.
there are almost Doctor Who-ish villains on these fucking tricycles.
It's little kids
It's little
in
kids
gas
with gas
masks.
masks, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just riding around honking the tricycle horns, and then eventually stop right below where they're watching them,
And
and
point.
just do that, like,
Yeah.
like
It
point
said
at
they're
them.
basically watchdogs.
Yeah.
But they're not real.
But they're holograms or something. They're nothing. They're not there.
Yeah.
But
And-
they
and-
alert the other toys to their position.
Yes.
And then suddenly the toys are just right there.
Yeah. We've also, like, back in the room, when they were all together, we started hearing a voice. There is, like, a
It's just a
disembodied
constant
voice.
laughing. Just
But there was a point where they're like, the hippie girl is like, vent girl is like, the toys are here, they come to life, and the cop is like, no, and he's like, you saw Janowski, like, that shit, you saw it, and she's like, no, I don't believe it, and like knocks over the spelling blocks.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then like they fall into believe, and they're like, see that shit, and then like they start asking him questions, and the blocks start
It's like,
animating.
what do you want? Death.
you?
Who do you want dead? You.
When do we want it?
now.
Yeah. And also it possesses the bad guy
that's right, for a
a
second.
minute,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but only she sees it, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's after they've taken off.
Yeah.
Like,
But it turns him into the first he speaks and says like, we need your flesh, we'll have your flesh, blah blah blah. Dead by dawn, all that shit.
bones.
But then it turns into the little kid from her dream, and that's when she believes everything's happening.
And she's like, what?
yeah.
And she also like collapses into a pile, to which the bad guy, Lincoln or whatever, wakes up and is like, "The hell? What do you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, because he picks the lock while she gets sucked into the dollhouse.
He produces the tiniest knife from his boot and immediately breaks the lock on these handcuffs.
Yes, these are the worst handcuffs.
Yeah.
In the history of handcuffs.
And then she wakes up and hears a sound coming from, or she's being beckoned to the dollhouse. And then she just looks inside, and then suddenly she's in the dollhouse.
Yeah.
And this is a good 10, 15-minute scene
and
of her in the
it
dollhouse.
involves the
Yeah.
flashback that we talked about earlier,
Where-
and it's just her and the demon kid back and forth. And he's like, what? He's like, I could be anything. I can be this, and like becomes like standard typical zombie. So she's like, no, and then it's like, then she becomes like the dead body version of her boyfriend. She's like, what? No, except kind of also, I love
please
you.
hug me.
She like beckons out to
Yeah.
him. She's like, please help me. And it's like,
would you?
But he's all pale and gunshot wound,
Yeah.
and
and speaking like demon kids
Yeah.
still.
yeah, and it's Latter-day American Werewolf in Paris, but still she's like, Matt, I love you.
Yeah.
Hug me, and then she's like back to Demon Kid. She's like, no, and then we have that weird
Demon
flashback
Kid's
for
like, let me tell you the whole story.
It's basically like 66 years ago. I need a body, and you know what? You're pregnant.
Doodle-doodle-doo.
I want to be your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he's going to ride shotgun down the birth canal.
Yep.
And
And
well,
he's-
after he does the nasty,
they're going to do the nasty.
and then ride shotgun on the birth canal.
Right. And then,
It's weird. They say like fuck so many times.
I know.
And it's like we're going to do the nasty.
he's a proper demon. He's respectful.
He's a proper demon who says we're going
Or,
to do
no,
the nasty,
He says I'm going to do the nasty.
and then ride shotgun on the birth canal. Yeah. Which that's a pretty good song lyric. I'm just gonna throw
I'm
that
gonna
out there.
do the nasty and ride shotgun down the birth.
But anyway, like that's the plan, and so she's just like no, and passes out again, and then wakes up, back
Not
on the
in the
floor.
dollhouse
Yeah,
anymore.
and there's swinging handcuffs because he got away with his tiny knife.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
And the kid also in the dream tells her, "Oh yeah, your friends in the air vent. Don't worry about them. They're fucked."
Yeah.
Which they kind of are, because when the demon toys come for them, it's the baby Oopsie Daisy who stabs Mark in the leg, which that doesn't really come up again ever.
He
But-
Limps mildly for a brief
For a
period of
second,
time. Yeah.
yeah, but then he walked it. He rubbed some dirt on it and he walked it off.
Yeah.
Vent
Yeah.
Girl gets shot by not TV robot in the elbow again,
Yeah.
seeming not like it looks like a nasty wound, but
I thought it blew her arm off for half
Yeah.
a second. I'm like, ooh, oh no, wait, that's just a squib. Yeah, but they make it into the security room.
Yeah.
they fight the
Barely.
toys off, sort of. Yeah.
Well, they bug spray them.
Well, he like kicks after he's been stabbed in the leg. He's like stupid thing. and
Stupid
kicks-
toy. Yeah.
Kicks it away, so like
Yeah.
they escape the air vents, and then he grabs the Chekhov's raid can and turns it into the makeshift flamethrower, like you do. And
And melts baby Oopsie Daisy and not TV robot.
right,
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, glad that's done with. As Anne backs towards a window to which Jack in the Box monster pops out, goes through the window, gets her in the face.
To
She
which he-
loses control of fighting it
Yeah,
because
to which-
arms stop working.
it's like it's got a good jaw grip on her cheek, because like he's trying to rip it off, and then finally eventually does, which looks pretty maybe painful. But then immediately it's just like, oh, okay, you. Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he at least is able to fight this thing. He does the smart thing, which is to grab its stupid little bendy arm and start bending it to where it's going, ah! And then he just rips that thing out of the Jack-in-a-Box and flings it across the room. And then he's like, fuck this shit. There's a shotgun in here. I'm getting it. And so he gently tosses a trash can on this chain, which then just busts this lock right open to where he can get the shotgun. And, shotguns the Jack-in-a-Box thing to death.
Yeah. But meanwhile,
Oopsie Daisy has come back.
Yeah.
Also, the demon things have trashed all the controls.
Oh, they
TVs,
destroyed the
yeah.
phone and
Yeah,
everything.
not TV robot shot them. Before getting.
Well, no, but I think
getting flamed.
before they even got there,
Yeah,
they
they
came
trashed
down and
everything.
like the control panel was
They were
fucked up.
prepared.
Yeah.
But the baby Oopsie Daisy just kind of drops into the room and then gets the drop on Anne to her face. and stabs her in the eye
with a nail.
with a nail, killing her.
Repeatedly.
Yes.
And that's it. She's dead. So, nice job, kid.
No.
Way to pop in, deliver exposition, and then immediately become fodder.
Yeah. So she's dead. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, fucking fuck. It's all fucked.
Yep.
But he's got a shotgun and a bunch of shells, and he's like, I'm just going to get to my car now because we can't open the door through the controls. So I don't know. Maybe I can ram it open. I don't know.
On the way to the car, is this when he has the hallucination thing? Because
he has a long period of time of wandering through the boxes, and he sees the Doctor Who children rolling to him on tricycles, and he's like, they're not real, and they disappear. And then he sees the centerfold lady come to life, and then he's just standing there like, gah. And then the centerfold lady starts talking like the demon, and then he's like, you're not real, man. And then it disappears.
it morphs into Vent Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
And he's like,
torments-
oh,
yeah.
man,
Man,
come on.
why'd you have to do that?
Oh,
I'm going to disrespect her with a joke later, but for right now, no.
God. Yeah.
But yeah, so, and he gets like 2 more steps, and then Lincoln pops out. And it's just like, haha, I got the drop on you, and now I have your gun.
I needed a shotgun, and
he's
here
like,
you came, and you brought me one.
shotgun.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm just going to blow your face off because that's what I do. I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, voices in my head tell me to. So, yeah.
And then he gets shot in the middle of the forehead.
Yeah.
And
Because
it's Judith off screen who has wandered around a corner and finally shot
must
that
have heard
guy.
the commotion.
Yeah.
But yes, does not follow police issue. Aims for the middle of the forehead.
Which also doesn't matter because
He's demon possessed.
demon guy is still in there and he's still talking, and this pisses Mark off even more, who shoots the demon in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up, Blam!
Point blank range with a shotgun.
You think you're
Shoots
going to get
him
a head
in-
explode.
Like not even like the like the top of his collarbone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't they end up wrestling with him and then just knocking his
No,
head
no,
off?
No, he's just like
he just gets pissed off enough that this guy isn't dead that he
keeps coming
hits him
back.
with the butt of the shotgun
Okay.
and knocks his head off.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
Decapitates him.
Yeah. They should have just shotgun exploding head. I
Yeah.
guess that would have been too difficult, but
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, but then they're just trying to make their way through, I guess. From here, they're just like, we got to get out of here. We got to get to the car. Mm-hmm. And that's when, like, all of the toys start coming to life, like, all over the place.
Yeah.
And so this is just Gunface City, where they're just
They're just shooting all the toys.
blazing away, just unloading ammo into everything possible.
And then the teddy bear becomes a real life bear man and is
Yes.
just a full grown thing.
Yeah, Man, Bear, Pig.
Yeah. And it just starts chasing her.
Yeah, well, it takes Mark and just chucks him into boxes.
Yes.
Mark gets chucked into a lot of boxes.
Yes, he does.
A lot of the time.
Thankfully, all the boxes are empty.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a warehouse stacked with fully constructed boxes for no reason.
Yeah, but God, Mark is like the most ineffective
Yeah.
hero in a movie in a while. Because anytime anything gets near him, he just gets chucked into boxes.
Well, he's panicky. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But so giant teddy bear thing chases her into a room, and she's able to shut the door, and it's tearing the door down. And she's like, "I'll just turn this gun on myself, because
Yes.
if I'm not alive to birth a kid or
yeah,
do the
I
nasty,
think she thinks Mark's dead and is like, I'm all that's left.
Yeah.
Stopping this demon thing
Yeah,
from
she
coming
has,
into the
she has a
world.
brief flashback to the kids playing the game, and they go, and war, and you lose.
yeah. And she's like, "Well, I guess I lose."
Yeah.
So
And because what's happened, but suddenly a little toy soldier opens the door for her in the back.
Yeah, we
And
saw it
Which
sort
we
of
have
for
seen
her.
briefly in a scene
animate,
where
yeah,
where the evil kid is doing like the seance on
sitting
top
in
of
the middle of a
pentagram
pentagram
thing,
with candles and
summoning stuff.
Yeah.
And this little toy came to life and kind of ran away from him.
shit. It's
which-
all stop motion, and it's not bad for stop motion.
Yeah, I like stop motion because it gives just that little bit of creepiness to a thing that because the motion is so unnatural, but still kind of smooth. Like
It's surprisingly smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a really good job on the stop motion on this kid.
Somebody really gave a shit about it.
Because they tried to do some
Weird.
stop motion with the Oopsie Daisy thing at one point, and it just looked like sped up nonsense. It was just like,
Yeah.
blah.
Well, and that thing too, like the Oopsie Daisy had some pretty good like puppet
Yes.
facial animation stuff. I mean, it only had like 3 or 4 expressions.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job of making those expressions look good.
Yeah, and the teddy bear was just a straight up hand puppet with a
Yeah.
little bit of lip curl, but it was literally just a hand, just
Oh, yeah.
and they didn't
100%.
even give it a voice. It's just this weird dumb voice. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But so anyway, this little toy soldier has come to life, and it's opened the door for her.
And just does the come on. Doesn't say anything, but just waves,
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
like,
she's like,
"Well,
well,
I
sure.
trust this toy.
Yeah,
it's
this toy's
cute."
probably cool.
Yeah. Problem is, he basically leads her right to the room where the demon guy is, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I thought it was weird because I thought it was like a plant. They were like, "Well, send in the cute toy; she'll follow
That's what
it."
I figured too.
But no, not by the end of the movie. But yeah, she basically like goes.
She just gets caught by the demon thing.
Well, she
Okay.
does, I mean, it leads her right into the pentagram room, like the room where she needs to get strapped down,
Close
and
to
all
it,
this
yeah.
shit has to happen.
yeah,
Because like she goes in and little kid demon is like, "Hey, here I am," or it probably took some other form, but freak her out. She falls down, and he's like, "Let me get comfortable here," and turns into, I guess, what is supposed to be his actual form, which is just
yeah, because it's no longer guy dubbing over a bunch of things. It's the guy who was doing the voice.
right.
So
and it's like tall dude, kind of looks like Judge Reinhold with demon face, you know, like Buffy the Vampire
and
Slayer
long
style demon
finger
face.
Yeah.
things.
but real
Horns.
good teeth. Like he's got
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got a good demon dentist.
Yeah.
DDS.
That's a DDDS.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is just a whole bunch of now I'm gonna do the nasty on you, and here I come, and I'm gonna lick your face. Bleh. he's creepy as fuck, but also like I'm properly mounting you now, and here I am.
Well, I mean, he
He's
straps
the
her.
dude who has to announce everything
yes,
he's doing.
yes, he's narrating everything he's doing.
I mean,
This is when we do missionary.
he
style.
straps her down to the pentagram, which is, you know,
Yeah.
creepy and all that, and it does like kind of get weird, scratchy with his evil fingernails.
He
but,
does.
Yeah.
you know. But we see like
Yeah.
while this is happening, Mark has woken up. Like he's not dead. He just
Yeah.
was, you know, fell down some boxes.
And he made it to his chicken station wagon. And he's
But also,
all right.
the bear has also made its way to the chicken station.
No, he has
he's
a
getting
moment.
in, and he's getting into the chicken station wagon, and he hears her screaming.
Oh, that's right. And,
And
he's
this
like,
is the point where Mark's like, "What kind of dude am I?
yeah.
Am I the dude that just gets the fuck out and
Chicken out.
is and is good with it, or am I the dude that actually helps the lady stop a demon from being born?
He should have been the first dude.
But then the demon gets born.
Well, no, because
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it wouldn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
It actually would not have mattered.
He just
which
gets
way he
injured
went,
further
but-
because the bear just
Yeah,
shows
he
up.
comes
and-
back with a shotgun and he's like, "Hey man, let her go. Game's over."
Well, before that, he has to fight. The bear is trying to murder him in the
Well, no, the bear
Car.
chases him back to the car.
back to the car.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what happens.
Okay.
Is he gets the bear comes out and attacks him and
Okay.
knocks the shotgun away and he's like, "Well, fuck." So then he runs back to the car. And
Okay.
he's like, "All right, I couldn't save her, so now it's time to get the fuck out.
Right.
I got to be my best Mark self.
Yeah.
And just get the fuck out."
And it takes forever to get the car started, and the thing
Well,
is
he
just
floods the engine. I'm sorry,
Oh,
but he cranks that thing like
yeah.
30 times and is, flooring it, and it's not working. But,
yep.
as the bear smashes the windshield out, that's when he's able to crank it up. And then he backs up into some pallets. And
Yeah,
then
he flings the bear forward, backs up, and does the whatever, I don't know, catchphrase, and
Yeah.
runs the bear into a wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he
He shotguns the gas tank,
yeah.
which doesn't make the car blow up. It just makes the gas come out, like it actually probably should, unless you have incendiary rounds.
Yeah.
But and then still has his magic lighter from the improvised Chekhov's raid, and throws it into the blows up the bear in the car, and he blew up the bear with a chicken station wagon and didn't walk away and say extra crispy.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
They had repeated
Missed
that.
opportunity.
They had repeated that line at least twice, asking about if they wanted
Yeah, the
chunky
demon
or
asks him if he
yeah.
wants to die, chunky or extra crispy.
Yeah, how he didn't walk away and say anything about that, because he's asked at one. Judith asks him at one point what happened to the street urchin kid, and he actually says she got nailed back in the security office, which I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude! You just were defending her 45 seconds ago, and now she's a fucking joke. Which is fine. I don't care. But it's like, if you've got it in
Hey,
you,
man.
if you have it in you to do that to one of your allies, then you fucking roasted this bear.
Yeah.
You work for the chicken station or whatever the fuck it is. You walk extra crispy, and then the thing blows up. That's what you do.
I figure he was just coping with gallows humor, Chuck.
Okay, fine. He says it so nonchalantly too. He's just like,
It's-
she got nailed back in the security office. I'm like, really, dude?
It's really great.
Bare to extra crispy.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to deliver that line, the extra crispy line, just a little bit later. Like he was going to walk
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and they were going to have a conversation. He goes,
Like how'd you defeat the bear?
Yeah.
extra crispy.
And she'd be like,
Be
what?
fucking cool. And she'd be like, yeah,
And he'd
you're
be
the
like,
fucking chicken man.
No, I destroyed my car and burned it up, and that's why I was gonna say extra crispy, but there was no one here to hear it. So
He's in 12 pieces.
get a bucket.
Yeah, they're gonna need a bucket.
So yeah, so the bear's dead.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Meanwhile, she is about to have some unpleasantness with the devil.
As you do.
There's rarely any pleasantness with the devil.
Yeah,
but
the devil's going down to Judith.
this is when little toy soldier shows back up.
Yeah.
And devil is,
It's like,
he reacts
you.
like if the kid comes in the room while you're getting
Yeah.
it on with your lady. You're like, hey,
Go to
what are you doing here?
We were doing sit-ups.
Yeah. And this thing takes his little toy gun and shoots the demon thing in the leg.
I know he shot him in the eye.
That's right, he shoots out
yeah,
his eye.
the face.
and he's
Yeah.
like, I
You'll
can't
shoot your
finish
eye
when
out.
you shoot me in the eye.
Yeah.
And
Ew.
then the demon, or not the demon, the toy soldier morphs into the other kid from the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And then
It's still wearing the toy soldier costume.
yeah, still wearing the costume.
Also, while it was little toy soldier form, it like used its little sword and cut one of her restraints.
Yeah.
yes,
Just because it was like it had more stop it motion. Like,
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
she
and-
freed herself from the rest of it.
and cowered in a corner.
But when it morphed into little boy, still in the toy soldier thing, he had the sword in the hand because it got larger too.
Yeah.
But then so of course the demon morphs into the little kid,
And they're like, come on, let's fight.
and it's like nerd fight.
Yeah, it just becomes two kids fighting each other. That's the finale of this movie: is two little kids fighting each other, and not fighting. They're just rolling around in some boxes.
Until like the little soldier kid kind of pushes the other one back, to
Yeah.
which I guess she was. They don't film it well, but she
No.
apparently was standing there holding the sword.
Yeah.
And so it basically half her stab it, half it back into the sword, and then turns back in full size demon because I guess you don't want to see a sword sticking out of a little kid demon.
Nah.
Eh,
And it's like, oh,
depends.
toy soldier sword, my one weakness.
And yeah, the
He falls over and vanishes.
demon just electrics out of there, and then she's like, "Thanks, toy soldier
Who
boy."
are you?
And the toy soldier, "I'm the
Enchanting
ghost of your
Wizard of
future
Rhythm."
son." And she's like, "What? I'm not keeping you."
Your future son will have died at the age of 5 in a toy soldier costume in a Nutcracker play.
Wouldn't
I've
that be
gone
sweet?
back in time
Yeah.
to save you
Yeah, and she
going
asks him,
forward.
she's like, well, after he said, I am your ghost son from the future, she's like, well, what's your name? And he's like, bitch,
You haven't.
if
given
I
me
tell
one.
you the name, that means you always wonder if it was the name that you were going to give me
Yep.
or if it was actually my name.
Yeah.
Or if I inceptioned the name into you by doing this. And he's like, no, I don't have a name. You didn't name me yet. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a reason for that, kid.
And then the kid's like,
I'm not
"Well,
keeping
peace
it."
out."
Yeah, and he's like, I just couldn't. He says, I
I'm
just
a
couldn't-
spirit too.
Yeah, I just couldn't live with myself if I grew up and turned evil, or something to
You
that
wouldn't
effect.
lived at all, kid.
Yeah, yeah. But he's basically
I
like,
couldn't let myself be born evil.
yeah, I think
Something
that's
like
what
that.
he said.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, but
It's the
All he had to
dumbest.
say is like that demon was gonna eat my soul.
yeah, and I couldn't have that.
Yeah.
But he warps out of there,
I
and
got
then
soul, but I'm not a toy soldier.
God damn it! Episode title Palooza here. But yeah, Mark shows up and is just like, "Who the hell were you talking to?" And Judith's like, "Yeah."
My son.
And he's
he
like,
helped me,
Your brain is extra crispy."
and he has morphed back into the toy soldier, and then he kind of like slides away from her.
Yeah, it looks like
And
he's actually like
vanishes.
gonna do like the you're dismissed like back up and spin thing,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
just backs up 2 steps and ghosts away.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean she's not pregnant now?
No, she is. Her future child has gone back to I don't know.
And she'll have a heartwarming story to tell him.
But man,
someday.
she picks up that thing and just kind of looks at it like, well, do I have to get this thing inside me now? I mean, like, what? How is this? What the fuck? I mean, everything that's happened to me this far, I don't know.
I think
But
the toys
luckily-
are just the toys, Chuck. They were being possessed by good and
You think
evil.
the toys
spirits.
were being possessed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think there were actual toys possessed by things,
All right.
and so at the end it was just a little wooden toy soldier or whatever.
Okay. Well, thankfully it just fucking ends.
It does,
Yeah.
yes.
She's like, all right, I guess we live.
Yeah.
The end.
Mm-hmm.
Credits.
Right. So, let's rate it.
Man, first off,
Yeah, we should really. Yeah.
it's been a while. But this one was well earned. Official Ensign Award to Mark.
Congratulations, Mark.
Well,
Nice
well played,
job.
Mark.
Good job. You
Like
were.
I know at least Harlow was getting giddy at the same time I was. When he was started losing his shit, we were both like,
You guys
"Ensign,
just giggled.
Keep going.
Ensign."
Yeah. Please keep escalating this.
Yes, and man, he did too.
Mhm. He was not having it. He was not having any of it.
Oh, and the slap just cinched it. It was like, well, yeah, anytime that somebody needs to be get slapped to calm them down instead of fire them up,
Yeah,
instant award. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unless it's just one of those like, why it was barely like just a comedic slap.
yeah.
where, like,
Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
No, Mark. He fully accepted it.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
all right, man. Yeah,
that was a good
I
slap.
was kind of
That was
losing
a good
my
slap.
shit back there.
Yeah.
That was a good hit.
Yeah.
Good hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Stargrove, nope. Standard fare. synth
Richard Band.
bullshit. Richard.
It was
Band.
Richard Band, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dick Band.
That polka music
Joker.
was pretty good. Yes.
And of course Joker.
there were
But
4
none of-
Joker songs credited in the end. I don't know when they were on the soundtrack because
I think they were playing them all at the same time in his car.
that's why you couldn't hear anything.
Yep.
Okay.
David S. Goyer just can't escape the Joker.
But
Yeah.
ratings.
Yep. Who's got one?
I'm gonna go 1 jocks.
Okay.
I can only barely actually, you know what? I'm going 2 jocks.
Okay.
I was gonna say I can barely recommend it, but like Mark is so much fun in this movie that he earns it enough, and there's enough dumb fun things like, or him just randomly throwing aside that she got nailed, and just all the and just like this weird relationship that he and the security guard have. There's some fun stuff here, but man, some of those scenes, like as far as like a horror movie or tension or anything, there is none of that whatsoever. It is completely ineffective in any of those phases. But there's just so many dumb things that they added up to 2 jocks for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I mean, this movie is the very definition of a 1 jocks movie if you remove Mark. But Mark is an extra jocks worthy performance because, like, there's enough dumb other stuff. Like if Chernowski or whatever and random vent hippie girl showed up, like, yeah, maybe, and there's enough interesting practical effects. But Mark just elevates it to a whole other level. I don't completely get him because it's a weird, like, from the moment he's introduced to where he ends up is kind of funny. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense because he's just that too cool for school guy at the shitty chicken place, and then like the second anything goes down, it's just like, well, I'm not staying here with you, and oh no, just like he didn't even want to be left alone in the office. Like, I'm gonna go with you to hear the spooky sound, and I don't know, just Mark's great, and
Mark is great.
yeah, I don't know. There's just the rest of the movie is maybe recommend. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark's good though.
Okay. I gotta go the other way. I gotta give this a bag. I like Mark. I do. Like I said when this movie was ending, supercut of this movie, but only featuring Mark. That's not a good sign for a horror movie called Demonic Toys. The demonic toys are in this movie for maybe 6 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's a long time coming, and you get a brief glimpse of them, and then it's a long time of a lot of nothing. It's the thing that frustrates me about this is, like, you look at the Empire Picture stuff, and it's all this it's the same mentality as this Full Moon stuff, but it had a little extra budget, and they could really go for it with stuff. And so you get to the early Full Moon stuff, and it's like they've got ideas, but you can clearly see them spinning their wheels. Like, how do we make this a feature-length movie? Add a fuck ton of padding and just wandering and babbling, and here's an extra character who doesn't mean anything. And it's, for what it is supposed to be and what it is promising to be, it's not that. It doesn't deliver on that very well at all. It's just not that. And so I do like Mark, but I can't say, man, you got to watch Demonic Toys because there's this guy in it named Mark, and he's funny.
But he is.
So I can't. If this was just some movie, some rando, just mild action movie or something, maybe. But for a horror movie, it is bland.
Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with you, Chuck.
Hey.
Mark is the thing that saves this from being a 2 to 3 bags movie. I like the toys, but when the toys aren't on screen and when Mark isn't doing something on screen, it's boring. It's just... I would have turned it off if I was trying to watch this at home. I'd have turned it off like 5 or 10 minutes in because there's nothing compelling about it. And that slog through the warehouse before everything gets going with what's her name, just
That does take forever.
Yep.
just fucking get on with it. Like, make it a 60-minute movie if you have to. Just keep up the pace.
Yeah.
Or do some more fun stuff with the toys. You know, there were
There were like
6 people.
oh,
total
actors. You mean?
Yeah, 6 actors. You could have padded that out or made something, made some of their deaths more interesting, or, split up Mark and Creepy Girl, and, made her death something that was more dramatic. Just
All the pieces are there. It's
Yeah.
just they just didn't have what it needed.
yeah. I mean,
You know, I mean, they saved money on some of the things because they're literally just hand puppets, so it's not that big of a budget thing. But
and like
they blew up that station wagon.
They
They
did,
did,
yeah.
clucking chicken on top of it.
yeah, that was a shame, really.
yeah,
I
there's some good pieces there. It's just
Yeah.
there are way too many bland beige pieces and not enough sparkly pieces.
I do want to say, like, of the other full moon movies we watched recently, Trancers and Dollman, all 3 of these were on Blu-ray, and this is the best looking of them. The other 2
Yeah.
looked rough. This one looked pretty good, except for like some weird, like, heat warping on the film
Yeah.
at times. Like the film would just start warping, and you're like, is something extra worldly happening here? Oh no, the print is just fucked up. But
Yeah.
this looked pretty good. So
Yeah.
at least not all full moon movies have rotted away in some vault somewhere. At least a couple of them have been kept in good shape. So just wish it was better.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break, shall we?
That's,
Oh, okay.
Man, look at all this time we have.
I have no Harry Potter.
What?
Didn't watch one this week.
Damn it.
What's wrong with you?
I told you we're doing emails.
I watched one movie, and it's just
Yeah.
a quick follow-up to something you talked about already.
Ooh. I have 2.
Anything, BJ?
2 movies. I'm the movie king this week.
Good call, man.
Throw up some W's. How do I don't know. How do I W? West Side. Good job being totally fucked, Letterboxd.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's just the Matrix shows up when you
Oh,
go to the main
no.
page.
Oh, no.
It's just a bunch of code bullshit.
Ding.
Guess I'll have to look at it on my phone.
Service unavailable.
My phone.
No, their site's fucked. What are you trying to look up?
I just wanted to accurately name the movies I watch, but I can
Oh.
look them up separately. What's going on back there?
What's going on?
You guys
What you guys doing over there?
we're haxering. We're gonna do some
Request failed. Service unavailable. Error refreshing
Yeah.
token.
What?
Letterbox.
Letterbox's
Jesus, I
bone.
thought you meant something to do with their shit.
This has to do with my shit.
Well, I meant like,
This has to do with real shit.
like the stream and the internet and all that. I'm glad I didn't wear the BMF shirt today. I almost did, and then I was like, it's kind of worse than wearing the band shirt when you're at the concert.
No.
No?
No.
Like when you're in the band, you can do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, totally.
Oh, okay.
That's why you have shirts.
Yeah. What else would you wear?
This shirt?
Yeah.
I can go change if you really want to. They'll never change it. Water. Cool. Well, let's do this.
How
Yeah,
new
so
is
you got
your-
one. Chuck's got two.
It's new. You just talked about it last week or the week before.
Cool. I want to hear what it is.
All right.
And we got voicemails and stuff.
Oh, we do? Okay, let me pull this up before we get going.
Just gonna make this shit happen.
Okay. 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 Good to go. Let's go. All right, welcome back.
Hey!
BMFcast.
Mm-hmm.
Second half
It is.
Half number 2.
out of 2 halves that we do.
Yes. All those things.
Uh-huh.
This is the one where we talk about movies
We do sometimes, yeah.
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 and sometimes television programs.
Uh huh.
So I have kind of a follow-up to a movie Chuck very briefly talked about because he didn't finish it.
Oh.
I watched Chips.
Oh, dear.
2017 movie.
Okay.
Chips. Crisps, as they say in England.
It is. I finished the entire movie.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I like to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say there were several bits of that movie that made me laugh very hard. The problem with the movie overall is it has a very inconsistent tone.
Yeah, you could say that.
Like it's like really well done action at one moment, like from moment to moment sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and then something that's bordering on dramatic, and then something that's just like ludicrously lewd humor stuff.
Yeah.
But like shifting tone aside, there I can't lie, there were some things that really made me laugh in that movie.
Okay.
And some of the action scenes were really well filmed, like
Hmm.
better than they should have been filmed.
Maybe it should have been front-loaded with those because
Yeah.
I just got to a point where I was like, man, this movie's got nothing. Nothing for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just finished it. I mean, it's a passable movie. Like I said, it's better at parts than it should be, and funnier sometimes than it should be. But yeah, just overall, it's that kind of B tier comedy that you can take or leave if you're bored. I mean, it's not the like thing I'd say like watch it on FX because no,
Yeah,
it's
no.
not that kind of movie.
No.
But no, I don't think it's as good as either Jump Street movie. But yeah.
Those are pretty darn good.
They are. Those are way better than they should be. But yeah, it's passable. Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Like-
thought, like you were saying, tonally and structurally, it was just like, what the
Yeah.
hell is
Yeah,
this?
it is very weird how it shifts from scene to scene. So
And I got to thinking about that a little bit more, and I wonder if that, like, how people now are reacting to that movie is like how critics reacted to movies like Dragnet when they came out. Because, like, when Dragnet came out, I love Dragnet. That movie's fucking hilarious.
Right.
But every review I've ever read for Dragnet is just like, man, this is average garbage. And I never understood that. So I don't know if it's adulthood. I don't know, because, like, I didn't have any affection for the Dragnet TV show.
right, which was actually a comedy that nobody realized.
Yes, exactly.
It's like the most dry comedy ever written, but people are like, no, it's serious.
Yeah.
No,
Like, is it? I don't know.
it's not. Anywho,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I watched Chips a lot as a kid. This shit doesn't offend me. Like, I don't care if you want to remake or twist or whatever.
Oh, I was in no way offended by
No,
it.
I mean, like, I love the A-Team growing up. I like the 18 movie. I don't care. Like, I can have separation. I don't give a shit. They're different properties. Whatever. You're not going to get like the original team back together. I'm not a delusional person. Like, I know they're never going to make Firefly with the original cast again. It's number one. It's 20 fucking years later almost.
Yep.
You know, it's like it's just whatever. If they want to reboot it, make something else in the universe, I don't give a shit. Fine, do it. Great. Take whatever.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Your life does not hinge on it. So, whatever. I kind of enjoyed it. It's a passable movie. That's all.
Okay. I have 2 documentaries to talk about.
Documentaries.
Yep. But they are relevant to our interests.
Okay. What are they?
The first one is the HBO documentary The Defiant Ones, which is basically a documentary about the creation of Beats headphones, but with 3.5 hours of really good music documentary squeezed between the Beats bullshit. Like out of 4 hours, there is 3.5 hours of really fantastic music documentary stuff.
Was that one financed by Apple?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a different one that was?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It sure as hell feels like it, especially the last 30 minutes of the last hour, because it just leans heavily into beats all the time. It's just beats, everything. And you're just like, man, I could turn this off right now. I don't give a shit about this. I have no hate for the hardware. Like, I'm not one of these people that overpriced fucking... I don't care. I don't... Because they are so expensive, I don't have any. Therefore, I have no opinion on them. If people like them, great. I don't care. But it leans so hard into commercial at the end of this thing. It was just like, man, you were so good, documentary. You were really good. And then you veered into bullshit. But, man, just all of the Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine stuff that they show along the way is just... It's amazing the footage they have. It's amazing the stories that are told. Maybe it's just the way this documentary was shaped, but the Jimmy Iovine story is the most classic story of a dude falling upwards that I have ever heard in my entire life. He's just like, he's a lowly engineer, or he's just a lowly assistant at a record studio, and like a guy didn't come in one day on Easter Sunday. He got called in, and in the studio was John Lennon. Yeah. And John Lennon took a liking to him, so he got promoted. And then a couple years go by, and it's like some engineer didn't come in, so they call him, and who's in the studio? Bruce Springsteen.
Yep.
And it's just this constant, like, upward climb. I'm not saying he's not talented or anything, but the way he just, like, bounces back from everything that is even mentioned that went wrong
is very much a right place, right time guy.
Exactly. Yes, and it keeps happening. Like he
was around for some goddamn classic stuff.
Yes. Like they talk about, like, and his first production thing was he did that Foghat album with Slow Ride, and he got fired, and then he fell into this massive project and he fell into the Tom Petty album, and then started dating Stevie Nicks, and I'm like, man, this fucker is just everything he does, he just like lands in a fucking rainbow. I mean, it's just like, and it's like, and then he broke up with Stevie Nicks, and then this Playboy model showed up, and they got married, and it was just like, what in the fuck? It's just like, dude, you got all of the good luck, like all of the breaks that all of us have ever wished we could just have, just to be in the right place at the right time for anything. This fucker monopolized all of them.
So, what is the documentary about?
It's bookended by the Beats bullshit, but it's just a parallel documentary about the rise of Dr. Dre and the rise of Jimmy Iovine. It's just just looks at both their careers, and it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. It skips a bunch of stuff in the 2000s. Like, it gets to Dre not doing his one album that he tried to do for like 10 years and never did. Which they mention 100 times, and
you say he never did it?
Yeah.
Like,
Detox.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, Compton was like the first album.
It's covering him, like, ditching Detox and all that stuff. Gotcha. But it's just like there's so much covering of like artists that he would discover and work with and stuff like that. But when he gets to the 2000s, it's just like, yeah, and then this guy, and then this one, and then whatever. 2000s Beats time. So that seemed a little...
So they're just like, yeah, he discovered 50 Cent, but who cares?
Yeah, they blow through the 50 Cent segment so fast.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like Eminem is the last one who gets like any considerable amount of time. 50 Cent is just like, yeah, he found that guy.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, Kendrick Lamar. You probably heard of him.
Whatever. He's in it for 30 seconds. You know,
Yeah.
it's just they just go right through there. But all of the NWA stuff is great. There's so much footage of them recording and doing stuff, and they get very close to telling some stories they should not tell. Like he will straight up say on cameras, like, I'm not answering that question on camera, man. Yeah, so it's a really solid documentary. HBO, they always do good things. And
Well, I'm dovetail. I forgot about something else I watched.
yeah,
I watched the Tour de Pharmacy while we're talking about HBO shit.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that other thing from the 7 Days in Hell
right.
collective,
Yes,
if you will.
yes.
So it's a little weird because they're allowed to do these things and like brand them HBO Sports and everything. Like,
Yeah.
other than when you start to see the cast and everything, it looks like a real HBO Sports documentary deal. The cast for this one is even more insane than the other one was.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason I really want to bring it up is just for the BMFcastness of the whole thing. Because, I mean, obviously, Andy Samberg's in it and all that, but like, it's him and like Orlando Bloom. I say were like the two main people, but like, there's John Cena, Jeff Goldblum, Dolph Lundgren. I mean, I can't even fucking remember everybody that shows up in this damn thing. It's only like 45 minutes, not really a movie or anything. If you were in for the 7 Days in Hell joke, you'll probably like this one too. It's ludicrous and funny, and there's the running joke that they kind of spoiled in the previews that, as it plays out in the documentary, is kind of funny how it keeps stepping up a notch, where you've got Lance Armstrong doing the interview as himself, but all in darkness and with the Discord of voice, and then like more light just keeps coming onto him until he's completely and totally visible, but still with the stupid, modulated voice thing. Like at first it's like, oh, hold on guys, I got a text. And so he like lights himself up with his phone. I don't know. It's
Pretty good.
yeah, it's a dumb joke that just keeps getting funnier throughout the whole thing, but it's crazy, like these are the kind of like simple but high concept comedy things, sort of like Casa de Mi Padre, that I kind of enjoy from time to time, where it's like, I don't know, we just had this wacky idea and somehow we got a shitload of our friends together to do this, so let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you ever watch the super serious Will Ferrell Lifetime movie? That
no,
he and
I
Kristen
never.
Wiig made?
I never did. No, I forgot to
What
watch
was that?
that.
Deadly Adoption?
See, yeah.
Like I did watch the whatever the
the miniseries.
yeah, the
thing they
miniseries
did,
thing. Yeah, like that shit. Like, I don't know. I appreciate the fact that they're doing this and bringing all of their cast of characters along. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's worth a watch. It's only like 45 minutes and it goes weird places. Yeah.
By the way, just spinning back to the Defiant ones for a second, Suge Knight is fucking insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Like, what? Like, there were so many times where Dre was just like, I gotta get away from Suge Knight. It's just like, this needs to end. We have to break this partnership. What's happening? This is bad. Like, they show the whole, like, the award show where he just goes up on stage in New York and is just like, fuck the East Coast. And it's just like, man, we're surprised no one died that night because everyone should have been shot. Wow. That's,
Yeah, Suge Knight lived like he was in prison.
yeah.
Like that he always had to prove that he was the toughest guy in the yard.
It's
Like his entire life.
It's so funny when Jimmy Iovine comes into when the two stories merge, like when Interscope Records comes in for Death Row, and that's how the stories finally come together. He comes to a conclusion about these guys. He's like, these guys have it all, but they're living like they're scrapping on the street. There's no reason to be living like this, guys. You won. You're so ahead of the game. You have everything. What are you guys doing? He's like he doesn't understand. He's just completely incredulous. He's like, guys, you have everything you want and then some. You will never want again. What is all this gangster bullshit? So,
They had to keep it real.
yeah, well, whatever. Great documentary. Fucking fantastic. So that spun off a need to watch another music documentary, which is something that I had on the DVR for a while. All Things Must Pass, which is the Tower Records story, like the rise and fall of the corporation of Tower Records.
Yeah.
So you go into this documentary and you're like, well, obviously the music industry collapsing is what killed Tower Records. Not entirely. It's a fascinating story of this corporation that was run basically like a mom and pop store for the longest time, and like all the executives of that company were all best friends who all started at this one record store for years and years and years and years, and like this guy just kept hiring people, didn't care if they were professional or not, as long as they, you know, didn't like puke on the customers or whatever, just like whatever gets you through the day, man, just whatever you need to do. And they tracked down so many people who used to just work in a Tower Records, and they are all just on the verge of tears talking about how it was the worst thing ever when this company went out of business. And for me, this was like reliving my time that I spent in a video store when I was in high school. It was that same kind of environment. It was that same kind of like, we're off the clock, but we're just going to hang in the video store all night and order pizza and just rearrange everything for the hell of it. I mean, it was that kind of thing. It's a really strong documentary, and it is just fucking tragic the way things go down for that company. It's like the things that happen are yeah, it's the music industry falling apart, but also just like 2 or 3 dumb things in a row that just obliterate that company. So
Yeah, my wife still talks about working in a music store.
yeah,
You know, from in high school and college, and that's one of those things I missed out on. You know, it's like I should have done that. I should have had that job at some point in my life, and it's like now that, you know, obviously, not even that I couldn't support myself working in a record store, obviously, but that is not a thing anymore.
yeah.
You know, just like working in a video store, it's not a job anyone will ever have again.
No, it's not. It's funny because like when I was in high school and college, I had 2 jobs. I worked in a video store and I worked in Publix supermarket.
Best supermarket.
Yeah, and I was on a path to like become a Publix employee for life. Like it was just going to happen. And I chose to quit Publix to keep working in the video store.
Yeah.
That's like the first time my life went wrong, was this swerve of like career or now fuck it, make no money and just hang out with my buds all day.
Chuck, you'd have made a delightful Publix general manager.
I would have been fucking horrible.
No.
I saw the way my my managers were, and they were there 16 hours a day and fucking haggard all the time and cranky, and I was just like,
But you're
I
a
don't
sweet
want
man.
that. Yeah, I turned out all right. I worked in a video store that went bankrupt.
I worked in a grocery store briefly until one day, as I was bagging groceries and taking them out to people's cars for nickels or whatever the hell the old ladies want to give you.
Yeah.
Where it was 90 goddamn degrees, and my manager yelled at me for going to get water too often. And I was like, hey, guess what? Go fuck yourself. Bye. It's 90 goddamn degrees out there.
Yeah.
I got written up working at a Publix because my friend and I, we were like, we need to go get carts. And so we just went into the neighborhood behind Publix and just wandered around and found like 3 carts out there. And we came back and he's like, where the fuck you guys been? You've been gone for like an hour. We're like, we were getting carts, man.
Getting carts.
He's like, there's only 3. You only brought 3 carts back. And we're like, well,
You never would have got these back.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for us.
Yeah, this is worth at least what you're paying us for 2 hours of work. This is way more.
Well, those
money.
carts are like $200 a piece or something.
We're like,
Yeah.
we're actually saving you money. And he's
Right,
like,
yeah.
it was a madhouse here. we had every aisle was open, every register, and we kept calling, and neither of you would come.
We only had paper. Nobody wanted paper.
And we're like, oh, sorry, man. And then he actually had to sit down with me. He's like,
We need to talk about your future.
yeah, he's like, yeah, this is. Do you really want to jeopardize this job? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to college in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, and he's like, well, but you need to take this stuff more seriously. And it's like, why? So I can work in fucking Publix the rest of my life?
Yeah. I got that speech
Don't
too.
insult Chuck's potential career choice.
No.
Yeah.
I would get those speeches too and just be like, dude, what are you telling
Yeah, I
me,
was
man?
like,
Man, managers at grocery stores, especially like general managers, are usually fine.
Yeah.
But anybody
Oh, the day-to-day
middle
guy.
management.
like any of the shift managers or
Yeah.
cashier managers, they're all just fucking little Napoleons. Every fucking one of them. Like, you need to go out and get carts. Like,
we had one.
I don't work in that department. You need to get fucked.
We had one who was cool, but he was like, he would try to be friends with us, but he was
Oh,
like
yeah.
too old to be friends with teenagers,
Yeah.
but he'd be like, but he'd like, it always would relate to the company or something. He'd be like, man, you see those new rotisserie chickens they got back there? It's like half a fucking bird, man. So you get that for lunch, you're set for the day. And we're like, yeah, that's cool, Mr. McDermott. That's awesome. I'll consider that next time.
Yeah.
I'm
I do miss-
37 years old, but call me Larry.
Yeah.
Call me Larry. All right, Larry. What the fuck do you want me to do tonight?
I've very
Okay,
nearly
Larry.
got punched by a manager at one point.
Holy
because,
shit.
Yeah, so he was telling me to do some shit, and I was just like, I'm 17. You can't have me work that much. And he was like, listen, who's the manager of this store? And I named the actual general manager, not him. He was looking for his name as an answer, and I gave the other guy. And he was like, you get out of here right now. Your shift is done. Do not come back. I don't want to see you. I'm like, bye.
God,
I'm going to play video games. Yeah.
I miss being a kid where like just no consequences.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you fired me from Publix. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go.
It's not like
I'll,
I'm going to put it on my resume.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll go to another Publix.
Yeah.
It's probably closer to my house anyway.
We did some shit when I worked at Winn-Dixie because Winn-Dixie, you know,
Oh God.
Yeah, because of Winn-Dixie.
yeah, because it's Winn-Dixie. Like, I worked somehow. Like, I worked really hard for the first, like I do with all jobs. Worked really hard for the first 2 weeks, and they're like, "Oh, you're a hard worker and a good employee. We're gonna put you on the dairy section because that needs a lot of help back there." And I worked really hard for 2 weeks, and then fucked off for the next 18 months or so. Like, we'd have egg throwing competitions
Oh, man.
in the stock room.
Yeah.
Because Winn-Dixie, like, it's not like Publix. You get in trouble for shit like that at Publix. At Winn-Dixie, there's nobody around usually to get you in trouble for it. And also, you're like 15, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I'll save it for our grocery store memories podcast, but a lot of weird shit went down in that Winn-Dixie.
My favorite was always just grabbing a tube of cookie dough.
Yep.
And just like smack it on something and be like, oh man, it's
broken.
waste.
Yep.
You better take it back into there was like a pile of them in the
Yeah.
freezer. And then
Yeah.
somebody would always go and be like, oh man, somebody's been eating on my cookie dough back here.
Ripped out scoops of
Or,
the
yeah,
inside
yeah.
of this, like,
And then every once in a while they'd all be gone. And we'd be
Yeah.
like, who the fuck cleaned this? Who cleaned this fridge? What an asshole. We all had food in here.
Yeah.
Man, we were all on that frozen food damages tip.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, anytime anything like boxes would mysteriously get dropped from as high as possible. They're like, oh man, looks like that box of Klondike bars is damaged. Guess I got to take that to the back and empty out the package so that I can put it in the special damage box to send back for
Yep.
credit. So
I remember actually being in the freezer, eating the cookie dough, drinking milk, and one of the managers came and opened the big freezer door, and I just went, cheers.
That's when you just look up and go,
And he just slowly shut the freezer door and walked away. He was one of those clipboard guys who I know he was like trying to track me down and
Right.
find, like, where's he been for the last 6.5 minutes? And I've been in there eating cookie dough. he just opened the door and I went, ah! Slowly shut that door.
I think the
I
statute
love
of
shit like
limitations or statute of limitations on theft is far enough past. But like we get something new in, like there are these really cool Philadelphia cream cheesy bars, and like I just take one right out of the box and be like, huh, these look cool. Smash.
Yeah.
Wonder how they taste. All right, now I know what to tell the customers. That was my 15-year-old
Yeah.
justification.
How are
for
these?
it.
I
These
worked.
are
I
great.
worked. I worked when the fuck are those green cookies? The healthy ones. The fuck like
Snackwells?
Snackwells.
Yeah.
When the
Oh,
fucking Devil's
yeah.
Food ones
Yeah,
came
oh,
out,
yeah.
and it was like the goddamn Nintendo Wii of cookies. It was like
Yeah.
Yep.
You could not get those.
like it was like they were always like, hey man, can you set me up a line for the Devil's Food? I'm like, I just fucking work. I don't give two shits. Like I'm barely making over minimum wage right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I worked at Publix because it was minimum wage at the time was $4.25 and Publix paid $4.50.
Yep. Yeah, if you got in at Publix, like you were probably going to be okay unless you were just a shitty employee, which, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did shit, like Publix would always just get superfluous bullshit every once in a while, and I remember like when rollerblades came out, and we had a pile of them in the store, and we were like, guys, when the store closes,
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
we have to
Rollerblades.
wax the floor, but first, let's fucking put on these rollerblades.
Let's wax the floor with rollerblades.
Man,
Right.
We're gonna get the floor
Yeah,
waxing
it'll
machine,
just pull us.
put on the rollerblades, and just crank.
crashing into shit while trying to
Yeah.
rollerblade around it.
Shit.
And
We haven't even taken an email and we're talking about this all this dumb shit.
I know, I'm sorry.
This is our own. This is
Yeah,
our
we
own-
probably should get an email, shouldn't we?
I just thought about, like, we are off on such a rail here
Yeah.
about stupid summer jobs and bullshit.
One last thing.
All right, please.
One last
please.
because I never want to talk about this job again. But like at the end of the day, you would have to cover the ice cream freezers with these giant metal sheets. I don't know why. Just trap it. They turn the things off at night, and you would just trap the. So we got into this habit of just taking these things like the saw blades they would use to cut the women in half, like in magic shows, and we would just take these things and just clang them together and pretend like we were showing everybody, like, look at what we've got, you know. God, we were just fucking idiots.
It's great.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yep.
I miss being a fucking idiot.
Riding the motorized pallet jack through the store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, all right. Did everybody have the people that played all the pranks, like getting the aisle stretcher and going out and painting or sweeping the lines in the parking lot? Did anybody ever do this to other people?
No.
Oh my god, the aisle stretcher one was the best because like you get a new like dumb person working there. I'd be like, oh, I don't have it. I think the butcher has it. They send him down to the butcher. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and like go to the. Oh, I'm sorry. That's at the deli. And the deli go, we can't use it because all the ceiling or no like left-handed ceiling duster. Like can't use that because it would get in the food here. That must be over the frozen. Send this poor fucker around here. Yeah. Or have the guy go like mop the walk-in freezer, you know. All this, we did all that shit.
Oh, man.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh god, mop the freezer. Oh.
Yeah, mop the walk-in freezer. Sorry.
Anyway,
Proceed.
where to start? Let's go with one from Mario
Okay.
from Germany.
What?
Who this one's titled I know, it's weird, isn't it? Anyway, this one's titled Order of the Black Eagle.
Uh-oh.
It says, "What's up, my dudes? In Order of the Black Eagle, there's a scene in which you might remember where a dude gets his head crushed under a three-wheeler. Oh, we remember it well. It's one of our favorite scenes. He found an interview with the poor stuntman from the scene, and he thought he might find it interesting, and he sent us the link to it.
Oh.
Also, we'd like to submit August, September, Snowvember, Dogtober, and whatever else you might come up with for December as future theme months. Mario from the very bad Germany."
Wait, from the very bad Germany? Like, are you sure?
Mario, no.
Mario from
Are
1942.
you sure?
Mario, please no.
There is, yeah, I'm going to go on record. There's a worse Germany,
Yeah.
Mario.
Yeah, no. Your Germany right now is fine. You're the leader of the free world now, actually.
Enjoy that.
No, not Dogtober. August.
August.
December.
I do kind of like August, though. Like,
August.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any other, like, ghost dog movies we could watch besides Ghost Dog?
Dog Ghost.
Yeah,
So
Dog
dog.
Ghost.
I don't know. Maybe. We just watch Ghost.
Just Ghost.
Not a bad
Yeah,
movie.
Just Ghost.
Ghost, dog.
Yeah.
We got a couple from Jay from Vegas.
Jagus.
Jagus
Voices.
from July 7th.
Hey guys, this is Jay from Vegas, and I apologize about my voice. Having been a week of legal weed, and my throat's already killing me from all the goddamn secondhand smoke. But anyways, I went to go see Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I saw it in 3D at the Galaxy, and they post how they have like twice the brightness of any other 3D screen. But that movie's really dark, and it's hard to see what's going on in the night scenes, especially. So skip the 3D. Overall, you know, aside from the darkness, I love the movie. So go see it, just not in 3D. Bye.
Yeah.
And then he sent another one right after that.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Like,
This is Jay from Vegas again. I don't know if I told you, but God, I swear I got high just walking to my fucking car. Anyways, I saw Spider-Man: Homecoming in case I didn't tell you, and seriously, fuck legal weed.
I just found that funny. That he secondhand smoked so much weed, he already forgot about the call he made moments earlier about Spider-Man: Homecoming.
God. Las Vegas must
never-
be a fucking nightmare right now.
I
I've
can't.
never heard of anybody angry about legal weed.
I bet the casinos are loving that shit.
Oh my god!
Because,
yeah.
man, you cannot gamble high.
No.
I don't know, man. Just put it all on like,
Yeah, because, like, I mean, in
A.
movies, you know,
I guess.
yeah, in movies, getting
That's
high,
a
like,
4,
unlocks...
Put it on A.
In
Yeah, I
movies,
like
getting
that
high
one.
will unlock superpowers,
Yes.
you know, but in real life, getting high just makes you really confused all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
in the movies, like, you see the roulette wheel slow down. And
Yeah.
you're like,
I'm sorry,
whoa.
what are you talking about?
What?
Oh.
I get it.
Yeah. But thanks, Jay. So don't see Spider-Man in 3D.
Or high.
Or high.
Or high. I bet.
Well, no, that might dilate your pupils, and then you can see it in 3D.
Yeah, if it
That's
lets all the
probably what
light
they
in.
were doing. They were playing to their audience.
Yeah. You got to let all the light in.
No, I agree.
Come to Vegas,
I
let
mean,
the
even in
light in.
2D, I thought some of the action scenes didn't play particularly well in a theater, and I think they will. But it almost felt like they designed them for TVs later. I just felt like it was too dark and too quick for that big of a screen.
Okay. So we got another voicemail.
We do.
Man.
So many voicemails.
It's great, isn't
That's
it?
what happened.
What up, BMFcast? It's Angry Black Adam from Colorado. I'm a longtime fan, second-time caller, and as much as I love your podcast, I'm a little disappointed in you gentlemen. Your propensity to find the greatest of bad movies is truly impressive, but there is a nearly perfect gem that you've allowed to glide into your radar for more than 400 episodes, and yes, I'm including your spin-offs. It's the bastard stepchild of the Superfly trilogy. I give you The Return of Superfly. It's 95 minutes of blaxploitation jacktasticness. It's the story of a former drug dealer / pimp, Priest Youngblood from the original Superfly, but played by an entirely different motherfucker altogether. He returns home from France to exact justice on the people who killed his ex-partner. And the shit doesn't make sense, but who needs it? It's late 80s as fuck. It has 70s editing. It has walking scenes, driving scenes, a repeating bass line, racist honky cops, a black revolutionary, blood squibs, exaggerated deaths, the BMFcast own Samuel L. Jackson, and so much more. It's on Amazon Prime Instant, so it won't cost you a dime. Now act like you love yourself and watch the damn movie. It's near perfection. That's all I got to say about it. Just make the choice. Do the right thing. Watch the damn movie. I'm out. Sent to you from my Obama phone.
I was reading the
I
transcript.
was so
and just
hoping
waiting.
that that's really what it said. I'm looking at the transcript.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Call back soon, Angry Black Adam.
Thank you, Angry Black Adam.
Oh,
so,
man. Everybody remember when Obama was going to give us all phones?
Yeah. Everybody was pissed.
I was like, please, I'll take a
Yeah,
phone.
sure. If you want to give me a phone.
So, adding that to the list for Blaxploitation History Month, or is it because it's 80s? Does that?
Well, it's technically 1990. It
Okay.
was on the list for 1990 year.
Oh.
We just didn't get to it. I don't know. I might as well just throw it in at this point. We're not going to watch the original Superfly because that movie is slow and talky and is nothing of what we want. The sequel even less so. This, I don't know. I've never seen any of this, so might as well just give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm
check
cool.
back
He's-
next February.
He sold it well, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he did. So
That was a 100%. That was a professional sell job.
it
right
was,
there.
yes, and that's what we require.
Yes.
If
Don't
you want to
bring-
be on the list,
Don't bring your half-ass sell
Nah.
jobs here.
fucking bring your game.
Bring it like Angry Black Adam. God damn it. All right.
Oh, I just got that.
What?
The Black Adam thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
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 Sorry.
Yep.
I'm a little slow sometimes.
All right. Next one up is from David, who has a couple of recommendations and a question. A topic of discussion. so
Loves
to
that
speak.
British movie.
What? Hello, BMFcast. My job gave us an extra long weekend letter. I'll just name a few. 1, Last Dragon. An awesome Kung Fu Black, and so for the last few days I've been watching a lot of B movies. I have a bunch to recommend, but for this exploitation movie starring Vanity, Julius Carey 3, Bowler from Briscoe County Jr., an early role for Ernie Reyes Jr., TMNT 2, and Surf Ninjas. A lot of fun, a lot of good quotes, and 80s as fuck. We've mentioned that a few times.
This guy
we
over
won't
here.
do it because Harlow has seen it literally like 700 times.
Yep.
And could quote it from memory as we speak.
Right.
Which one was
So-
that again? Sorry.
Last Dragon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, it's been disqualified a few times.
Sorry, I love it to death already.
Yeah.
So much.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of like if we did Gremlins 2, I'd be like, yeah, I'm giving that 5 jocks. Like I already know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of we try to avoid doing that sort of stuff.
Right.
Other one, World Gone Wild, starring Bruce Dern, Catherine Mary Stewart from The Apple, Julius Carey III. Again, it's a post-apocalyptic tale of Dern gathering a bunch of guys together to defend his small town because of its water against the villain played by Adam Ant. I found it on YouTube, and it's really worth checking out. Lastly,
He didn't mention Michael Pare.
BMFcast's own Michael Pare.
Huh.
World Gone Wild.
Okay.
I like the premise.
Yep.
And a villain played by Adam Ant. Who knew? Lastly, my question. Do you think when it comes to controversial scenes / movies, they should have a reason / message behind them, or is it okay to do shock for shock's sake? Crash and burn, David.
I'd go further to say that every scene in a movie should have a point, not just controversial. I mean, I don't remember what famous filmmaker said it, but it's like if something is in a movie and it has no point to drive the story along, it doesn't belong there. I mean, unless you're talking wacky comedy, that's the only exception. Is like
I was about to say
you can have a comedy for comedy's sake. I think, and I mean, I guess
That's still in service of being funny.
sure, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, not necessarily driving the story because I mean, a story is kind of secondary in a comedy.
Yes.
Some would argue maybe in a horror movie, but I mean, there are people that watch horror movies not for what's happening, but for the gore. I mean, so if you're watching a gore movie and it's like that's what you find entertaining, like I would find comedy, okay, I'll give it to you. But I mean, I think he's talking about like our taboo and things like that, the things we don't like in movies per se.
Yeah, what most exploitation movies
Right.
traffic in. My feeling on it is shock for shock's sake. Well, shock in general hurts rewatchability because you can only do that once, and then if like and even with comedies, like doing a shock value thing, that works first time you watch it, but then you watch it again and you're like, oh yeah, that's coming up, isn't it? And that diminishes it, so to speak. And it's kind of the same with most movies. I mean, there's a few things that pay off because they're so out of the wall. Like I think about Marvin in
I was just about to say
in
the same
Pulp
thing.
Fiction,
Yep.
where like that's just so out of the blue, but it also drives the entire
Yeah, it's the entire third act of that movie.
third act of the movie is because of what happens with Marvin.
And it seems like such a random, like, whoops, what the fuck? And
Yeah.
lots of movies would just have that happen and just be like, well, that's done. Let's move on to something else. Whereas, like you were saying, that's the entire rest of that movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I mean, sometimes it can work, but if it's just I think about stuff like Evil Dead and the tree thing in the first one, where it's just kind of like, why are we doing this?
yeah.
And it's like you don't, and there's a reason it doesn't show up the same way in the second one. And I feel like that stuff. It just it cheapens the movie, and it lends to the artificiality of a movie almost, where it's like, here's what you came to see, right? And it's less, it ceases to be telling a story when you get to that point. So
the problem with like using something horrific like the situation in John Wick 1 or in every revenge movie, pinky violence kind of thing you can possibly think of is like 9 times out of 10 they don't get what they deserve.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're going to set up something that horrible, then like, you can't cop out on like the revenge aspect of it. And you know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to do that, you need to have the repercussions thereof of revenging. John Wick, I'd say, qualifies, but I'm saying there's a lot of other ones that it's like, you did a horrific thing and then like you didn't really pay it off. Like the henchman gets it worse than the guy involved or the ringleader or whatever,
I feel like a lot of times they try to play that off as well as like, oh, the world is just cruel and bad stuff happens, and sometimes you don't get revenge. But that's the way the world happens in our real life. Show me some revenge.
Yeah.
I think shock for shock's sake is, if that's how you feel like you're expressing yourself as an artist, like as a director or a writer, I guess fine, go ahead and do that. But I don't know. I don't really have any use for it. Serbian film is like, there's no point to about 85% of that. Like, you could do a lot. You could do a whole lot more with the premises in that film than the things that they did with that film.
But at the same time, I don't begrudge people. Like, if you want to watch it and it's not like a fucking snuff film or something, you know, like it's not real, I don't really give a shit. If that prevents you from doing it real life or whatever, fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah, that's what I said. Like,
Yeah.
do it if you want, but it's not going to bring me any closer to your film.
Yeah.
Film.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, like, tastes are, like we've said a few times, like, every movie is somebody's favorite movie.
Right.
Literally every movie, there's somebody who's going to be like, oh my God, I love that thing. And, you know, we're like, I want to smash you with a hammer. That's the worst movie I've ever seen. I can't believe you would, I can't see how anyone would like this. And yet there's always somebody who they think that's the best thing they've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I just got done watching this one movie that I went kind of back and forth on if I was going to like or not. And it's one of those movies that has a scene where, like, it's just one of those horror movies that's kind of pushing people's buttons a little bit, and it's like this girl is kind of getting stabbed in the butt, like murdered, but being stabbed in the butt cheeks, and it's like, okay, you're trying to do a thing so you can get that Yahoo in the audience to go, ha ha, she's getting stabbed in the butt. You know, it's this horrific act, but you're trying to make a certain part of the audience giggle at it, and then it becomes like that movie where the girl got stabbed in the butt. You know, it becomes like the thing that the movie is. It's like, come on, what are you doing? Like, she's gonna die the same way. Why are you doing it in this, like, seemingly extra cruel way to get Jim Bob to laugh at it? I worry when you see a consistency in a filmmaker of doing that kind of thing. Like, if some action director always puts a rape scene in there somewhere, you're like, why? Well, like, what is your deal? Like, why is this a thing? Why do you keep doing this?
Well, shit. I mean, people picked up on the Tarantino foot thing. I mean, by Kill Bill, it was pretty fucking obvious.
Well,
but
sure.
I mean, like, you know, people were like, hey, before that, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, like, you look at that and you're like, well, that's no big deal because, like, there's nothing horrific happening here. It's just like he keeps showing footage of people's feet, but then it just becomes like, okay, we get it, dude. You like feet. We don't have to partake in it. Like, I don't know why half your movie is just shots of people's feet. Like, come on, let's tell your story. Do your witty dialogue, you know. So that's why I was glad the Hateful Eight was so cold, because no one ever took their shoes off. Yeah.
and it was the 1800s, so their
Right.
feet would have been nasty.
Yes.
Yeah, they might have had 8 toes.
The Hateful Eight toes. Yeah. I mean, you know how we all feel about the main thing. It's just we can't sit there and be like, hell yeah, what a great movie. Look at this. You know, it's like, it just takes us all immediately out of it. We're just like, oh, God.
Well, yeah, well, whatever that Pinky movie we watched was, where we're just like, yep, this is not our thing.
Yeah.
Never going to be our thing.
Nope.
So, no point in ever watching any more of these for the show, because we're just going to be like, nope.
Yeah.
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 No.
Know thyself.
All right. So, last one.
Okay.
We got a voicemail from Birdie,
Aw.
who I believe mentioned he was drunk, so I cannot vouch for the
Oh, man.
coherency
Quality
of,
or
of
coherence.
this voicemail.
Hey, BMFcast, it's Birdie, like the Squawk, Steve, and all that. I decided to call you while drunk because I'm listening to your live stream, and got so uber excited. So, during my time as unemployed dude, I happened to see a movie that seems perfect for a potential dogist, if that's still an option this year. It's called Zeus and Roxanne. It's about a dog, and Steve Guttenberg, and a goddamn dolphin. I thought this was a weird 80s movie, but it's straight up 90s and ridiculous. Mostly because the idea of the Gooch as a tough, cool guy is about as plausible as Nicolas Cage as a sex symbol. And to bring up a good question for you, the group, who is an actor, director that you, when you see that they are working on, you will see it? I get way too excited when I hear someone like Paul Rudd is in a movie, even though Jennifer Schmucks was all sorts of terrible. Is there anyone on a marquee that will bring you in no matter how many bad movies they made in their past? Thank you guys, Birdie, Crash and Burn, and I'm out.
Shit, that list
What
is
was
huge
it
for
sent
me.
from, Birdie?
I don't even know. That list is huge for me. I mean, I have plenty of directors. It's like, yep, that's all you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Matthew Vaughn so far, Danny Boyle, generally David Fincher.
Yeah, we talked about Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah.
Coen Brothers.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, yep, okay. Even if, like, I don't like Hail Caesar, I will still see the next Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
actors,
I mean, we've talked about guys like John C. Reilly, where he's like almost like a sign of quality for a movie. You know you're going to get something out of him that
I was
any
just
other
gonna
actor.
say, even if the movie is not
yeah,
great, he's going to be really good in it.
yeah, and he's going to do something unique that if they had given that to another actor, he never would. Like they would never have done that.
But see, like on the flip side of that, like I really love Will Ferrell, but I can selectively choose which Will Ferrell movies I'm going to watch because I know instinctively some of them are going to be hot garbage because they have been.
Yeah.
So as much as I love Will Ferrell, I will not see everything he does because it hurts. Like some of those movies are fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed it. My personal favorite actor is Gary Oldman, but he's also in some fucking terrible movies.
Yeah.
Lost in Space being one of them.
Yeah.
You know, like he could be the best thing in it, but that still is an atrocious piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he's the kind of guy. It's like, well, he'll at least add something to this.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, like Nick Cage is an obvious answer. I will watch anything that Nick Cage ever does. Yes, he makes a lot of movies that aren't very good, but you're going to get some Nick Cage, and I want Nick Cage.
Usually,
If they could make Nick Cage the movie, I would watch it.
I don't like bored paycheck Nick Cage,
you know,
which
and he
has showed up
Yeah.
more often lately
Yeah.
than it hasn't.
Yeah, you're never exactly sure. Well, as now he does everything that is not a real movie. It's hard to gauge because sometimes he will just fucking show up for one of those Made in New Orleans movies where it's like, how come you didn't give a shit about the other 7 Made in New Orleans movies you just made, but this one you're like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
You know, like that Bad Lieutenant movie is garbage, but for some reason he fucking goes for it in that, and I have no idea why. He didn't go for it in that one where they stole his kid and he had to go to the
Nope.
abandoned.
Stolen.
That's right. Stolen.
The synonym of taken
Just
in pretty much all ways.
They should have just called it Taken also.
Yeah. Taken 2. T-O-O.
T-O-O.
Yeah.
Also taken.
Tooken. Call it Tooken. Done Tooken.
Yeah. I find myself never being disappointed in C. Tate when he shows up in a movie. C. Tate. I don't know why.
Man, eventually I think Joe. Why did I say that?
Because the word Joe was in
Yeah,
the
I
chat.
know. I was looking at it. Eventually Chuck is going to get around to the episode where we like disparage Channing Tatum as being this wooden, awful actor guy. You know, I'm just saying when
Man,
you're in
I
your
don't-
rewind.
Based on what?
I don't remember that.
I don't know, but we were talking about Channing Tatum. Like, who the fuck is this like no acting motherfucker guy that like people were pushing out? I remember we did this and like we 180'd hard on C Tate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, when he shows up in Hail Caesar, like, suddenly that movie comes to life.
He's the best thing about Hail
Yeah.
Caesar. Like
And-
his appearance, his segment is.
Sorry.
Bless you much.
Bless you.
Yeah, I mean, I at this moment, really, aside from George Clooney embarrassing himself, cannot think of anything else in Hail Caesar except for C. Tate.
Yep.
So, yeah, I should watch more C. Tate.
You should.
He's
Yeah.
handsome.
I realized, like, I think I turned on him, like, not turned, but, like, came back around on him when he showed up in This Is the End.
Yeah.
And is totally just like, yeah, dude, I don't give a shit about my image or anything. This is me in this movie playing Channing Tatum with all this shit happening. You know, it's
Well, like, I always remember being on the Brad Pitt train, like, especially during that early period where everyone was like, pretty boy, Brad Pitt, Legends of the Fall, blah. And I'm like, dude, 12 Monkeys. That dude can fucking act.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing in 12 Monkeys. And everyone was like, pretty boy. He's just
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
you
even
know.
like California before he was like
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah, he was doing that
some good
that
shit.
deep dive rednecky bullshit, and like no one was talking about that. They were just talking about like, ooh, Thelma and Louise, ooh, It's just like, yeah, he looks nice with his shirt off, but the dude can act. And I was always the one like, dude, stop taking those movies. Stop taking real movies to keep doing these these awful redneck movies that you're making. Those are the best.
Yeah. And Tom Cruise, everyone hates Tom Cruise, but I can't think of any movie where I don't like Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah. I get the reasons why people don't like Tom Cruise, especially like the personal life stuff. And I've had to reconcile that because I think personally he's a fucking loon, and all of that shit is harmful and terrible to both actual people and society as a whole. But that fucker makes a movie a year, and every single one is like, yeah, man, that's good on you. That is a good movie, And I love that everyone keeps pointing out that how like every time an action movie comes out where he's running and doing something, people always point out like, yeah, he's this much older than Wilford Brimley in Cocoon at this stage of his career. So, God bless you, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
80 in
Yes.
Cocoon. I
Yes.
don't care how old he actually was.
He's like 42.
I don't care. He
know.
looked old.
I know.
Wilford Brimley probably looked 80 when he was 14.
Yeah. Well, he's got the beatus, so it ages you.
You have diabetes.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I know he does. He says it in the commercial, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's we could probably make lists and lists and lists of
Oh,
people
yeah.
where we're
That's
just
what I was
like,
saying.
they're in it? Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Tilda Swinton's a lot like that for me, too, where it's like, you're going to get something weird.
Yeah, but she doesn't make me go see a movie. I think that's what he was getting at. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's just
true.
more like, yeah, you're probably going to be good in this.
There are people who
A movie's almost always better because she's in it.
Sure.
She's a lot like John C. Reilly in that way.
there's like a movie equation that comes up when you're like, do I want to watch this? And you start digging through the cast, and you're like, oh, that person and that okay, yeah, okay. There's 3 people in this who are fucking awesome and everything. Let's do this.
And like, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we discussed the movies that, like, because someone is in it, we won't go see it. Yeah.
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 Plus, we have like so many that we just have because of the show. Like, I don't think any of us would
like
set
Steve
out to.
James.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
but I mean, like, I think we would all selectively be better about like Dolph Lundgren movies, but because of the show, we're probably going to end up watching every Dolph Lundgren movie.
Yeah.
So,
Well, not
No.
everyone, but yes.
yeah,
Most.
right, yes,
That man also made a billion
he did.
direct-to-video.
There's a period of time we're probably going to skip, but
Oh, yeah. Another one I want to toss in there. Yaphet Kotto.
oh yeah,
Always awesome.
yeah,
Like every single movie he shows up in. Even Monkey Hustle, which was like, whatever, this movie. It's like, man, but look at Yaphet, so happy.
he's having a great
It's
time
like
in
the
that
only
movie.
time Yaphet's ever been happy.
Yeah, happy of it. There's that other one too, that Pam Grier movie where he was up on the roof
Oh, yeah.
and like halfway through
What,
the
Friday
shootout.
Foster?
Yeah, halfway through the shootout with Apollo Creed, he's like, "What the hell am I even doing up here?" Like, just zapped out of the movie and just be like, "What the hell?" Yeah, Yaphet's great. I like Yaphet.
Oh, did we come to the end of all this?
I think we did.
We got some more time.
Man.
We do?
Well, I mean, it's just a little bit earlier than we normally
Yeah, I know. I'm
run
just saying,
over.
you know,
That's okay.
Yeah,
Wrap up.
I mean, Scott from Seattle sent us a bunch of stories of Ian Fleming's role in World War II.
Oh.
But that's like
I think he said
pages
don't
and
read that. It
pages.
was
yeah,
just
it's
like
page.
a
It's
casual
really,
reading.
Look up Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not insane like crazy, but insane like did
All
a
the
whole
shit
bunch
he
of
did,
shit
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
generally have no idea over.
In
Although,
that,
like,
in that Teddy Roosevelt and Winston Churchill kind of way of like
Right.
all the shit they did in their life.
our listeners are pretty savvy individuals, so I imagine a lot of you are aware of his involvement with the war effort. But read up on it. It's intense.
Indeed.
Yeah, I was listening to a comedian talk. I know we're still talking about this. This is like after show. You can cut all this. What I'm saying. Like,
He's not gonna.
There was a comedian talking about like watching documentaries about people like Ian Fleming and Ted Williams. All these people have like done amazing fucking things, and it's like, then you just like it. How shitty it makes your life feel. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like what am I doing? Like I haven't done anything compared to this.
I rode a roller coaster twice once.
Yeah, in a row.
Right? That's how it feels. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck have I accomplished?
That's also
nothing.
not fair though, because really, like, what opportunities do we have to do
Sure.
shit like that?
We
Well,
could have gone to the
nowadays?
desert and
We
killed
could
brown people
we could
for
be
a living.
fucking Elon Musk or whatever. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
No,
there's
I'm
still
I'm
there's still
nowhere near
amazing
qualified.
fucking crazy people out there doing things. Dean Kamen and company and shit. It's like,
Well,
there's
okay.
no wars to be like. And I
Look.
enlisted in 3 wars during my lifetime and invented the Enigma machine. And
Compare me to Dean Kamen and Elon Musk.
okay, I'm saying the
There's a-
wars
there's
do
a
not
bit
make,
of a gap
make a
there.
person great. I'm saying we could. These people always like put certain people put other people to shame. Everybody to shame. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then there's Tesla, who comes up with a whole bunch of shit and somebody else steals it and gets all the credit for it.
Like Elon Musk. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's anything. He made the Tesla.
Yeah,
Or
and also you
engineered
got to
it.
have a cool ass name, like Elon Musk.
Nikolai Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a cool ass name, you're destined for something.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, just don't be known by 3 names, or else you're probably going to murder a president.
Or at least attempt
Julia
to.
Louis-Dreyfus.
That's
Case in
hyphenated.
point.
That's
Yeah.
different.
She's
Hyphen-
murdering a
Yeah.
president on TV currently.
I always wonder about that. Like why do
Nice.
the people that kill presidents get their middle name added? Is it because like all the other John Booths are like, not me?
Yeah.
It was John Wilkes Booth.
I'm John Francis Booth. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. I've never shot anyone yet.
Francis Booth.
Well, Francis Scott Key didn't kill anyone.
that
I-
you know of.
Well, right. Didn't famously kill anyone. Although he was, if I remember correctly, he may have been a horrible racist.
Yes, he wrote profoundly racist lyrics in the Star Spangled Banner.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't use any of those for the
Yeah,
official
good thing
one.
we kind of skipped that verse.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Publix more.
Nah.
All right.
All right.
Publix always smells right to me. It smells like a grocery store should. I don't know. There's something about
Publix.
It's like a
It
Vegas
just
casino.
smells
They
right.
they suck out the bad and pump in the good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never like Food Lion always smells like fish
Bleach.
and piss.
And bleach to cover it all up.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the key. If you can smell bleach,
You know you're in the wrong
Yeah.
place.
you know that something
If you
went,
can
Get
when
out.
you smell bleach, something went wrong before you
Right.
got there.
Oh, I walked.
sometimes it's okay if it's localized. Like if you walk by a section that smells like bleach. But if the whole store smells like bleach, get out of there.
I was out of town, and my mother and I walked into an IHOP, and I'm pretty sure they removed the first 3 letters because we walked in and we're like, "Get the fuck out!" Like, nope. Like, I don't know if like fucking R. Kelly's IHOP opened up there or what the fuck that was. Like, it was messed up.
Ew.
Like, it was and it was like it both took us like a second. Like, we actually got to the table, and we're like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no,
Did y'all ever shop at Albertsons?
not on the regular, no."
You'd remember the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also smelled more like shrimp and piss than Food Lion. Food Lion was fish and piss. Albertsons was shrimp and piss.
Shrimps.
Shrimps, yeah. Shrimps and pisses.
Ah. That's how I sign all my letters.
Shrimps
Shrimps
and
and pisses. The fuck are we talking about?
I don't know.
Speaking of letters, if someone wants to send us an electronic one, how would they do that, BJ?
Well, they could email it to
BMF at BMFcast.com. Let me
I
fill
don't
that
know
in
why
for
I asked BJ.
I was trying so hard to be clever that I forgot what the fuck I should have said. But yeah, send it to BMF at BMFcast.com, like Carlo said. If you want to just visit the website, ye old website, check it out. It's BMFcast.com. It's got a bunch of our social stuff on the right-hand rail. It's got buttons there. You click on them, they do stuff. They take you to places. You can also give us a call on the Garfield phone, 910-5-JOCKS-BMF. or 910-556-9263. Leave us a message, and we'll address it on the next podcast, time allowing. And also, give us your money. Patreon.com/BMFcast.
Was that a threat?
It was a request,
Okay.
sort of. It was a statement, a declarative. Give us your money, and we will, in return, give you more hot-ass podcast content. Patreon.com/BMFcast.
Alrighty then. Let's get out of here, shall we?
Oh, okay.
Let's-
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. See you next time, motherfuckers.
Woo! Killing that shit off my ears.
Yeah, man, going back to like minimum wage jobs, like I both simultaneously missed that period, and like I think that's the part I'm aware that I am weirdly nostalgic about it, and then if I were to go back to it, I would hate it.
Oh yeah.
Like I just remember like the good times and not all the shitty times.
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of fun. I mean, for $5.15 an hour, we had a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
like it was. There was that like weird, and it's probably that's the same way with the video store. There's a weird community because we all we're all high school kids or just out of high school and working these shit $5.15 an hour jobs, which I know some of you older folks may think that's a lot of money, but yeah, like we'd always find ways to hook each other up. Rides to work, parties after work, all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
It was
wasn't
weird.
a lot of responsibility. It was just a lot of like, I've got a little extra money.
Right. I've got $30.
Yeah.
Let's go get pizza.
Yeah. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. I can order what I want on the pizza. And if
This
you guys hang
time-
out with me, you can have some.
Yeah. I never got the community, but the best crap minimum wage job I had was delivering auto parts. I
Wow.
fucking loved that job. It was the summer before I started college, and this is before you had a GPS or phone or anything. So they would handwrite directions, and I'd have to I learned Orlando, like I could get you anywhere in Orlando in 1994 from memory, and but I'd have to call them when I got there because didn't have cell phones back then either. So it was this whole I could just drive around listening to the radio all day.
As long as you make your deliveries
Yeah.
or whatever.
And-
yeah.
and-
I delivered a lot of pizza. So.
Yeah, and there's one that was there was this power plant that was like an hour away, and every once in a while their service department would need parts, and I would beg for that run. I'd be like, "Give me the run out there. If that shows up, give it to me," because I knew how to get there, and I knew it would take me an hour, and I knew I was just like, I'm just gonna be in the car listening to the radio. It's 1994, so the radio is actually awesome.
Yep, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'd listen to Howard Stern in the mornings back when he would do comment on news, and it wasn't just like, "Hey, there's a stripper in here. Show us your tits, stripper." Yeah, that's pretty hot.
That's great radio.
Yeah. Like when the problem was his show became about whatever the live but the video show on E or
Yeah,
whatever.
the little- yeah.
Yeah, when his show became about that, it wasn't fun anymore. But when he and Robin would just rip on news stories, that was some actual funny shit, and that's how he got so popular. But then he got into all the gimmicky shit that doesn't play on a radio. And it sucked.
Did you ever like the Phillips File? You lived in Orlando.
I don't think I listened to it.
Was that later?
No, I remember hearing of it because that was
Yeah.
on Real Radio 104.1, right?
Yeah. I love that shit when I lived there. It was the afternoon 2 to 6 slot or whatever.
No, but 104.1 on the weekends, Real Radio was awesome because it was basically a new wave station where you'd actually get to hear Smiths and stuff on the radio, where that was not happening at any other point ever, unless you lived in a college and got the college radio station.
They actually put the Phillips File on XM for a little while. There was some
Really?
talk channel briefly. That was before it was hey, no, it's just a 24-hour Howard Stern channel now.
That's lame.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
They didn't they just commented on random shit. It wasn't it was a no agenda show. Just we're just going to talk for 4 hours and make it entertaining. No real thing at all. Hey, what happened to you today? Well, I did this, and
So it was like an all things
Oh, yeah.
geek
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
Well, I watched this movie and it was pretty good, and and then just guests would be like, "Oh yeah, that sucked," and then just spark a debate for no reason.
Huh, that sounds familiar.
I don't know.
Doesn't it?
I like radio like that, where it's like we're not necessarily trying to make a point. We're just funny, somewhat funny and entertaining.
That's kind of what I like about here's a podcast plug. Yeah, Idle Thumbs, which is one of the reasons that we do this podcast, and also No Quarters. It's a little bit more video game centric, but they're doing a new podcast called Important If True, and it's somewhat themed. I guess it's robot news themed. If you really want to,
No,
pick
they've
one
gotten
thing.
away from that.
Yeah, they've gotten a little bit. They were going a little too robot news centric lately, or for a period of time. But they just kind of like pick some bizarre news stories out and read a couple emails and riff for 45 minutes to an hour, and it turns out really good. It's really funny, but that's the kind of stuff I like as well.
Yep. Yeah, you just have to have personalities, like easily distinguishable voices, and like, oh, that person's talking now. And, okay,
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing that's weird to me. Like, I listen to Pod Save America, which, is like ex-Obama staffers, basically, who are like, all right, here's what we can do to fight this. Here's what we can do to fight this. Yes, the world sucks. All that. But, like, I'd listen. They put out 3 podcasts a week, and the
Holy
only one
Jesus.
I can recognize is John Favreau's voice. And not that John Favreau, the other one. But, like, there's, like, there's, like, Tommy Vitor and one of the other guys, and I could not tell you ever which one is which when they're on the show because they never really identify themselves. And I know one of them's on one day and one of them's on the other, but they sound so similar that I just like they've become the same person to me.
That's so much podcasting. 3 a week.
is he talking about the best star of 5 Christmases?
No, I said the different John Favreau.
He's being
no.
a douche.
Yeah. But no, but they're basically they
He
talk
knows what
about
he's
the
done.
political news of the week, and so and that's all they do. That's their job.
Yeah,
Yeah. And when they get like 2 million downloads an episode, I'd say they're doing all right. So,
I guess so.
yeah, we're not quite there yet.
No, we're a few
Million short.
million short. Yeah.
We're a few million short of 2 million.
It does feel like we do 3 podcasts a week, though.
Oh, kind of do.
One thing that would help us get to more than 79 downloads a week, or however many we get, that would get us closer.
We get more
few
than-
more than
Yeah.
God.
I don't know.
We've
I
never
haven't
shared the numbers with you, have we?
I haven't seen them lately. I don't know.
You're just going by how many Patreons.
Not
we've
even
got,
all
like-
the patrons download our show.
Literally, the only people listening are the ones that donate to the Patreon.
And 5 of them don't even download.
We have 100% acceptance rate on Patreon.
Right. I mean, I know we have a few people.
We're
out
not
there
successful, but statistically, holy shit.
listening. Yeah. But anyway, share the podcast with people. Like, get out there
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
preach for us, because we can only preach so far ourselves. We're only 4 dudes with
I'd meant
you know.
to say that on the show tonight. If people could,
Yeah.
share.
proselytize, if you wouldn't mind.
And
a
honestly,
little.
because like every top 20 podcast you need to listen to thing is the same fucking 20 podcasts every time.
Plus Pod Save America now, I'm sure, because it's people who are already popular in some way.
Yeah.
The rich get richer, am I right?
Yeah.
Fight the man by sharing our
Yeah, Attica.
podcast.
Sorry, just destroying our own shit.
Yeah.
Bad
I'm not
idea.
good at looting. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
Bad idea. We have to dip into the Patreon for a new mic if you break that one.
For looting, I'm stealing your VR.
But also, like, so Facebook is basically a giant screw job for any pages/businesses. So it actually costs us money every week to make sure that we reach the amount of people who
Yeah.
Follow us.
follow us, who have said that they want to receive our content in
Yeah.
their feed. But interaction, actually, like if you see our post on Facebook, like it or comment on it or share it, and that actually helps to show the people that want to see our content, for fucking sake.
For fucking sake.
I get really mad about it, so I forget my words.
You get passionate. It's not mad.
Yeah,
It's passion.
It's mad. But yeah, share that if you can, or like it, or comment on it, or something. And that I mean, I'm not just trying to shill or make you shill for us, but it does help us, and we'd appreciate it. Yeah. So that's all. That's all I wanted to say.
It's all we've got, man.
Nothing like getting your first upcoming birthday email from your goddamn insurance company.
Hey, how about that?
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as far as like the sharing thing goes, like it drives me crazy when I see a show that has like 8 million fans who are out there like, you got to go listen to this show. It's like, dude, they don't need any more help. They're there. They've arrived. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, if there's something you like that has like 1,000 fans, maybe tell people about that. But it's just like, you know, I mean,
You can be a hipster.
Christ, how many people need to retweet? How did this get made?
Yeah.
0.
I mean, my fucking grandmother knows about that show.
Is that your podcast?
Yeah, yeah. It's like you tell anybody you do a movie podcast. Oh, do you? It's like
Oh, what do you think about how to do That's I just stopped listening.
and I don't have anything against them. I'm just saying like
I do.
it's just that thing of like the big keep getting bigger, and it's like you never get any more voices. And I'm not necessarily saying that for our sake. I'm saying it for like everyone's sake who's like stuck in this like mid-tier, you know, people do listen. A lot of people listen, but it's like there's dead silence from 90% of the people who listen. They don't say anything. They don't talk to you. They don't tell other people about you. They're just this.
Expected. I mean, that is literally a formula.
Yeah.
That is the engagement rate,
Yeah,
but
if you're lucky if you hit 10%.
I know, but I
it's
like
so weird though.
yeah.
Like, because I think the last time I looked at our download numbers was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like,
why aren't there a whole bunch of people talking to us?
why do we never hear anything
Yeah.
from any of these
The
people?
numbers are silly, but it's like, you know, we've got a hardcore vocal group.
and we love them. We love you guys. We really do.
Absolutely. But it's like I would love to hear from everybody who listens. It's like we are the most accessible people.
Unless you're a fucking prick.
Yeah, don't be a prick. But and we've had some.
Hey,
I
or
mean,
if
we've
you
had
are,
some that have told me off.
If you are, just be our kind of pricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been lucky actually. Like we've had
we
very
really have.
few shitbirds that
That's
just feel like telling us we suck. Chuck gets that a lot.
That
but-
one guy from the UK was like, "Fuck you and your liberal ass. I'll still listen to your podcast, but fuck you." I'm like, "What the
Yeah.
hell?" He's like, "I'm blocking you, you motherfucker." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
thanks for listening."
I will never understand people from a different country are like all in on Trump. Like I do not get that at all. But whatever. We are who we are. We're not going to pretend to be
there's
somebody else.
bunch of fucking loony bin weirdos here in the U.S. that were all for Marine Le Pen,
Sure.
and she's a fucking basket case.
Yeah. But I think the point is we're just saying like we are not we are totally not above any kind of back and forth conversation.
No.
I mean, we go to large cities and just say, "Come and hang out with us." I mean, there's no
And
like
then-
entry fee. It's just, it's just come see us.
No, we've literally opened up the stalker please kill us window multiple times. And
Yeah.
No one's taken us up on it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had people like actually send us notes saying, "Give me your address." Muhahaha.
And we gave them their address.
I'm like, "Come at me, bro."
Yeah.
Whatever. Send us
Yeah.
your fucking anthrax. Whatever.
Catch me
I sent it
outside.
because it was Harlow's address, so I didn't
Yeah,
care.
I don't give a shit.
But yeah, interact with us on Twitter. Like, our personal Twitters are available and open to you, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. I unlocked mine.
Oh, you unlocked yours finally? Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't get that job, so I unlocked.
Oh, good.
Back to Twitter freedom.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, shit, that's the thing we should do is lock our Twitters for when we're applying for a job.
Yeah, so they can't
look up your shit.
can't catch you outside.
But I'm trying to figure out how anyone would. I already said that.
I know.
I'm trying to figure out how.
I said the dumber version of it to make you
anyone
sound
would,
cooler.
Fix me. Like, how would anyone even fix me to my Twitter handle? I can't figure it out. Like, I'm not even using the same email address I use for anything else.
Yeah, but there are depending on where you're trying to work, there are people who will find
You
it.
can only see this much of my face.
I know, but that's enough. Oh
yeah, identify me.
yeah, those
rectal
those sideburns.
yeah. Rectal scanner.
Yeah.
I am an asshole. So that would work.
Yeah.
That's true. Good night, everybody.
But yeah. Yeah, interact with us. We love you. You love us. We'll love you back.
Tell all your friends. Tell your parents.
Tell your parents' friends.
Yeah.
Tell your
kids. Tell your wife. We're telling everybody.
Tell your dog. Make your dog download.